Everyone, welcome to the tournament. So today we're going to have a very exciting race with 3 different racers, and we have some pretty high stakes here. It's going to be between Tom. So we got a lot going on and a lot of implications, and I'm joined by Poketax here, who's going to, hype him up and explain a little bit of it to us.
Fighting off, so if you hear any sneezing, coughing, I apologize. But yes, you are absolutely right. Essentially, the implications are this. Win this race, and you're on to round 4. Guaranteed, no questions asked. Second place, there's some 3 cases. 2 seconds. So while we get and they're off. So there are some boundary cases for second place points. So you can actually get a second place finish. Who are each sitting on 2 points. It's a little bit more complicated. 3 points will not be enough to get them into round 4. So to not only get second place or better, but we'll also need to beat the median time, which at present is 3:08 and change. At how fast they are relative to the median time, and of course, don't get third because it's the old show would say that get you. Big race, and we've got 3 really good runners to do it too. You've got T-Pat, who is in the sub 3 club. First 3:01 back in 2022, and then Crisis, who is
in other races, these races can be really freaking close. There have been races decided by matters of seconds, and even yesterday, all 3 runners in the very end of it. So expecting to see some of that today, and it'll be interesting about 2.5 hours from now to see whether they decide to go for YOLO. All our runners set up. So T-Pat's going to be on Eevee, Kerbis and Crisis are going to be on Pika. And we can try to scope out what kind of Pikachu. Whereas for Eevee, we're going to have to wait until the lab. And T-Pat was saying his Eevees were not lucky lately. So
so he's just going to run whatever he's got. Crisis and Kerbis both with 26 CP Pikachus. That means so you will have a plus in one stat and a minus in another. Or just go. So we've seen a lot of runners, especially.
Let's just go.
Yes, indeed. A lot of runners have just, especially. Check the nature. A lot of runners in Pika just are like, okay, we're going to do this. We already expect T-Pat to do it because runners just take their Pikas and, all right, if it's minus attack, if it's minus special attack, we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so we're really hoping for just if the mine. That's what we're hoping for, especially with ED2. Bonus attack, great. Bonus other stuff, but really just looking at the minus there.
Minus speed for Pika is okay too. There's one fight. It's the Archer 1 fight where a gold lips from your Pika be faster. Minus speed being just fine for these runners. So there's a few additional natures in Pika that it's like, okay, it's minus speed, we'll take that.
It's all. Or something, and you're waiting to finish your meal so you can unwrap it, or like it's Christmas Eve and you want to open your present. You know, we want to see how we're looking here. I'm sure the runner and his attack.
Yeah, to continue the analogy, getting bold is like getting a lump of coal. You do not want to see, certainly do not want to see minus attack in either game. You probably don't want to see minus special attack in either game. You can kind of work around it, but yeah. And Eevee adds speed to that because there's a couple of things in Eevee that just Eevee gets outsped by. The Pidgeotto on Rumble 3. So that's no fun. Like things like Kangaskhan can start to get faster than you, and Kangaskhan is just downright scary. So, yeah, we'll get some hints here. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it changes your heal threshold. Basically, you probably won't lose the run with a minus speed Eevee, but you'll need to be more careful in where you heal and how much you heal, because obviously the opponent will go before you. So it's something you really need to be careful of. But it doesn't make your Eevee unrunnable, which I guess is a plus.
Well, we'll get some hints here. Certainly on the Pikachu side, you'll kind of notice Yazarian and I talk about our respective games. I'm a Pikachu runner. Yazarian is an Eevee runner. We'll talk about our games a little bit more specifically. We both have some crossover with the other game, but just to give you the perspective, it's a nice booth to have because we both can have those technical aspects of of each other's games. But you'll get to see some clues here on this Rival 1 fight. Okay, so Crisis and Kerbis, I can tell right now neither of them has plus defense. So that's good. You don't want to see plus defense if you can help it. This Pikachu for Crisis actually looks like it has very good special attack. So that could be a plus special attack nature there. We'll keep our eyes glued for that. Generally speaking, you don't get a Raichu or even close to it, whereas Kerbis got actually very, very close to a 3-shot there. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm kind of worried about T-Pat's Eevee, but we'll go get confirmation before I say anything. But someone in the chat was asking how many points they're on, so if you missed the very beginning, we explained it. We're not going to go through everything again, but T-Pat has 3 points.
3 points for T-Pat and 2 points for the other 2 runners. Yeah, and that's why T-Pat's got a little bit more wiggle room these other 2 runners have. So T-Pat can actually finish second in this regardless of time. That is not the case for Kerbis or Crisis. At third
just
place
to clarify, there's one more Swiss round, so this isn't to go on to like the semifinals yet, but it's basically to have enough points that you could qualify for the semifinals. So if you're too low, then you just don't make the threshold, and you won't be in the Swiss round 4 because there's really no chance, unfortunately. But taking care of that Rattata pretty easily. Let's see if any of them go for the outside Weedle or Caterpie.
So Crisis's Pikachu is a beast. It is plus special attack minus defense, and it got an AV into attack. So I believe that is what is that? Mild nature. So really nice. I did not get a good look at Kerbis. If chat did,
that kind of sounds like the dream, right? You're getting attack and special attack.
Yeah. So one of the things you're looking for, on this Pikachu, as Crisis is going to go ahead and catch the Weedle outside. This is a nice little newbie bonus on this Weedle.
Joy-Con moment.
Crisis just gets motion controlled. That's kind of the nature of this game. I say there are two certainties in this game: Joy-Cons and Pokemon spawning right on top of you, and we just saw the first of those. So there is a newbie bonus for Pokemon caught outside of forest or before the forest, and I believe it's a 93% catch rate with no circle. So Crisis going ahead, taking advantage of that. You do get less experience for it. I just saw that attack for T-Pat.
Yeah, T-Pat's minus attack, unfortunately.
Oh no, that looked like. I don't think.
I'm going to say though, T-Pat is a really good runner. So if someone can adapt to this and make it work, I think he can. There's still 3 hours left, so I have a feeling he can make it work.
He probably had T-Pat as the favorite in this race. He's one of only 5 runners who's gotten a sub 3 personal best. And yeah, he's accomplished. He has a lot of experience in this game. He's seen some stuff. And he's going to see some stuff here. So let's see how he handles it. He's definitely equipped to handle even. But we'll see how it goes.
Just thinking of the real irony that, no joke, everybody, he spent probably about 50 or 60 minutes trying to get a backup that was neutral, and it didn't work. So I'm sure he's cursing his luck right now too, that it just didn't work out. But here we are, at least he saved 40 seconds by not resetting.
Yeah. Exactly.
He didn't catch the Pikachu that showed up, which was kind of surprising, right? Didn't he see one? And then he just walked right past it?
My stream cut out for a couple of seconds. For Eevee, it's nice to have that extra catch, but anecdotally, Pikachu does have a pretty low catch rate. And maybe he's just saying, okay, I don't want to put myself in a situation where Pikachu starts breaking out once, twice, 3 times, which he absolutely can do.
And Pikachu's very jumpy, so it's not necessarily the easiest catch either.
It sure is.
Crisis, the victim of Pidgey's awful hitbox that I complain about more than maybe anybody. So many times the Pidgey's coming and there's a giant space, and then it still triggers. So Crisis had that, unfortunately.
Crisis with the glowing Oddish, but he misses the circle. This is notable. Going for this Oddish here in the forest, he does catch it. But it's Wombo. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
His Pikachu's cruising.
So his Pikachu's up at level 9 already. That is a great development there. As we said, he's already got an attack AV. He's got multiple special attack AVs. I believe that was 2, if I saw that correctly. This Pika is ready to go. Herbis taking care of this Metapod fight. I believe it's a guaranteed 2-shot if you don't have minus special attack Pika. And he takes care of that. So does T-Pat. So Herbis going to go ahead, leave the forest. He's going to do Route 2 roulette for Oddish. I personally like this strat. You save a little bit of time. But the problem is you actually have to find the Oddish. As you can see, Herbis gets 3 Pidgeys.
Oh,
the
T-Pat
Oddish
has
out here.
Pikachu show back up though.
Here,
That's nice.
there's Pikachu for T-Pat.
And now it's higher level too, easier catch.
And he could 2C.
Yeah. Back right away is nice, and should bring it home, so that's good.
Nice. Kerbis, another round of roulette. Fortunately, does find the Oddish this time, so a bit of time loss there. I still like the strat because you do save. I would call it about 6 seconds, if all else being equal, if you get the Oddish outside the forest. You miss 2 level ups, levels 8 and 9, because this comes at level 9. Plus, you also miss teaching the move Acid. So it already comes pre-equipped on the level 9 version, but not the level 7. I'll say a little bit more manageable doing the level 9 instead of a level 7. Kerbis's Pika is also busted. There's already multiple AVs on that for attack. I think I saw 3 for level 9. That is,
yeah, that's
excellent.
It's really, really juicy there. And you like him on the earlier levels too, because then you get him again sooner as you round the loop, right?
Right. This is going to be a really interesting development, because I think you and I would both agree, like, of these, Crisis runs into a glowing rat. I think this is an interesting idea to catch this.
Yeah.
So this opens up a couple of options here. One, you just get a ton of experience, so you're worrying less about hitting that level 15 threshold for Misty. Number 2, on Route 10, instead of scavenging around for a Rattata, you just go ahead and if one shows up, you find Raticate. And it's a great experience bomb, kind of equivalent to that of Graveler in Rock Tunnel. So Crisis, between this glowing rat, between the supersized Oddish that he had, and potentially the option for Raticate on Route 10, has a really good potential EXP route going. And that yields dividends kind of as the run goes. You actually saw that and we have another.
He was playing roulette with the Bellsprout first try, glowing the super experience. Look at that.
Look
and at level 10 though, no attack AVs. I mean, naturally, but you know.
Well, yeah, because it's minus.
It can get them though.
It has to be the characteristic.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, normally for Eevee at level 13, you can actually just straight up 2-shot the Onix. That is not the case. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Maybe he just swaps in Pikachu. Oh wait, never mind. He would need the Oddish, but
yeah. So I believe at level 13, you do not have the ability to 2-shot the Onix without the Tail Whip. But this is development for T-Pad. Getting a nice high level.
Yeah, that's the best way to overcome these minus attacks and stuff, is you just gotta be over leveled pretty much.
Yep. Plus, you're seeing this now as well. We have Beedrill evolution. Going to get the Butterfree evolution. You get those 2 pokes out of your party as quickly as possible. They don't get any extra levels. If you watched my race yesterday, you kind of saw an instance of that happening. They start learning moves. It starts getting slow. See it unless absolutely necessary, and so positive development for T-Pad. And meanwhile, you have Kerbis.
He was so happy to see that, I bet.
Yeah, minus attack. This is, as you said, this is the way through. Kerbis with a really good, a really good Brock fight. Also, this Oddish is busted. Between really good special attack, solid speed. That's what you want to see, because if that's the case, you can go ahead and just 2-shot the fight, get rid of Onix and Geodude. And I think Crisis did the same thing, because his Oddish is level 10, so that is a guaranteed on the Onix. Oh my goodness, that special attack on that Oddish. It is, it has rocks in its socks. It is slow, but it has 30 special attack. That is really high.
Yeah, it's gonna take T-Pad a while to get through this gym, but over the course of the run, Pika and Eevee are relatively similar in time, but I think the early game is probably a little bit faster with Pika in some sense, just because the Brock fight takes forever with Eevee.
So I'm taking a quick look at the shops here for both of our Pika runners. Kermit's going to go ahead and buy the X Defense. That gets used conveniently about 2.5 hours from now. But you go ahead and do that because you want to set up what's called God Mode. The idea being that you have one input in order to get to both your X attacks and your X special attacks. So it saves a lot of time over the course of the run where it's like you're fiddling through your menu and just like trying to get to the right spot. No, you can just make one quick input and you're good to go.
T-Pat decides to tail whip the Geodude. I don't know if that was necessary. I mean, maybe he did the calcs like while the 20 million evolutions were happening. But since he's level 13, I don't think that was needed. But maybe he's just playing it safe, you know?
I think it was needed on the Onyx. I think
definitely on the Onyx, 100%. But
yeah,
on the Geodude.
Purpose getting as T-Pat goes ahead and finishes that fight, which he does without picking up the first of 2 potential bonuses that you can get on Route 3 for Pika. You can get both Mankey and Sandshrew. For Eevee, that you have one option, and that's Ekans. As I say that, Crisis gets the second option, which is Sandshrew. So nice bonuses to get. Once seeing this, by the way, just using the Great Balls, getting the Great Ball into spot 1 now. Not an uncommon strat, especially considering this Sandshrew is only level 4. Not going to give you much experience, but it is one less catch you have to do somewhere down the line. So it starts really for both of these Pika runners, just get some extra catches, that extra race safety, so you're not in a position where you're waiting on pokes to spawn later on. And you get extra levels in the process of doing that. So the earlier you can get catches, again, within reason, it's for the best. And we're going to see that pay off for T-Pat here too, because he'd be in a load of hurt if you were trying to run that X or that minus attack Eevee. That will take away quite a bit of the pain of doing that.
T-Pat doing something a slightly bit different, just buying one less Great Ball than normal and one extra Awakening. Probably a decent race strategy when it's just a one and done, you know, and later there's plenty of Pokemon that can put you asleep. So I'm not sure if he does that in his regular runs, but I think that's actually a good adaptation for this situation. Get that 3 Awakenings instead of 2.
Hypno, Jinx, Drowsy, there are others. Like, yeah, it's just,
Snake!
And
Nice.
Everybody gets a bonus on Route 3. There's a nice big snack sliding its way around.
Oh,
so
okay.
Nice level here at level 7.
And you can see the different way to do it here too. He doesn't switch to the Great Ball. He just uses 2 Pokeballs, 2C. So a little more experience. Don't have to use the Great Ball. No, I like it. I like the adaptation here. Very smart by him.
Yeah, I was going to say, if that's a level 3, you might just bite the bullet and say, okay, I'm going to 1C this. It's not going to give me much experience anyway. That's the merit. Oh, also, this Eevee's level 14 already. You know, like, it takes so much of the pressure off of Mount Moon. You're not having to hunt down glowing Pokemon. The snacks everywhere. Route 3 is treacherous for T-Pat.
A lot of purple things.
Yes. Almost gets hit by the rotator there, but manages to hold off his movement there at the last second.
Those little youngsters cause a lot of trouble in these runs sometimes.
I'm told they wear shorts and they're very comfy to wear. Anyway, so a little bit of version variance between what Eevee does and what Pikachu does. Pikachu goes ahead and takes care of this Sandshrew here with the Oddish while it's still out front. Being Pikachu would have a whale of a time with it. So let's just keep our buddy Oddish going. and then heads into the basement here. Just before on Crisis's screen, just before he's going to deposit any unnecessary Pokemon, as well as teach Headbutt and then Lure. So he'll be ready to go there. You're seeing on Kerbis's screen, he just picked up the first potential Moonstone. These runners all set their clocks at about 11:34-ish. The idea being, while you're in this room, you can roll over to midnight and the next day, and have a roughly 50-50 shot of getting another Moonstone to respawn while you're still in the room. So that's a really nice, if you can get it, it's just an additional Pokemon that you don't have to worry about trying to catch and all that stuff. It's just an easy extra Pokemon for these runners.
One nice thing for T-Pat here is he did fully evolve the bugs, and he deposited 4 Pokemon there, which is great. So at the moment, he just has Eevee and the Bellsprout. So you can maybe assume or see maybe Kerbis and Crisis, their bugs will potentially get up to level 11, maybe 12, hopefully not 13 with these other catches.
Hopefully not 15.
Yeah. but T-Pat will save some time there, right? Because he's not going to have the bugs getting up those extra levels. So I think that's nice that he's able to deposit those early.
Yeah, absolutely. See, T-Pat's already done that menuing that we talked about. Is skipping that Sandshrew trainer for now. He's going to come back once his Eevee has gotten even more strong. Oh, what a great set of spawns for T-Pat here in the basement.
Everything he wants.
Glowing Geodude. He's got a Clefairy. He's got Paris. Plus a great Geodude cycle. That is perfect. That's exactly what you want to see. And
Crisis glowing Geodude too.
If T-Pat can get another Wombo here, just even more EXP on top of what he got. Unfortunately, no, not this time. But again, already level 15. No concerns for Misty's gym in terms of being underleveled. Again, the ongoing development with T-Pat is minus attack. So we'll be keeping our eyes on that throughout the run. But so far, our Vince is doing exactly what it needs to do. Kerbis also getting a glowing Geodude. You get a glowing Geodude. You get a glowing Geodude. You get a glowing Geodude.
And then we have a glowing Paris for T-Pat too, so we have a prediction that it'll be supersized. Let's see.
Can we say the rich get richer, or is that a little too bingo-y?
Yeah, Kerbis Kerbis got double Moonstone, so that's great.
Very nice. Kerbis is still sitting on level 13 as he leaves here. Oh, Kerbis almost gets hit by the hiker. Wow.
So close.
That was way too close for comfort. I don't believe he intended to do that. The kind of conventional here for Pikachu is just wait for him to spin, especially in a race setting like this, where it's you just wait a second. T-Pat now at 16 after catching that glowing Paris. Again, the more levels he can slap on that Eevee, the better. But I am keeping my eyes open on
Clefable. No, I'm not going to go for it. No Clefable for T-Pat. Probably a smart move. I know one of my race runs got screwed up because of that, so in the exact same situation.
Clefable's a bad idea.
You got to do it for the fans, though. You know, there's a lot at stake here for these runners. So
yes, absolutely. Okay,
no means probably.
Crisis get to 14 on the Pikachu. That's going to be fine in terms of EXP. And not too many extra levels on the bugs, that sort of thing. So he's in a good spot. Kerbis is a little low in the EXP department. By the way, you're seeing the impact of minus attack on that
Awful.
Sandshrew for T-Pat.
Gosh. So unfortunate.
You would almost assuredly knock out that Sandshrew if you were even neutral attack, but being minus attack, you see the 10% haircut that you get as a result of that, and you saw that Sandshrew just stayed up. Kerbis still pretty low on EXP. I think he may be able to get it. You see that he went ahead and got a Clefairy. This was not a level 11 or alert Clefairy. So not getting the same amount of EXP that he would usually get. I think that's enough. It might be. It's kind of on that boundary case where you're like, might be enough, might not. But either way, definitely not with experience that either of our other two runners have.
Yeah.
But that said, also further in plot progression.
True. All right.
More glowing Clefairies.
Just...
as our runners are making their dashes around Mount Moon.
I always hate this screen that T-Pat's on, because every time a Geodude just shows up right in front of me, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, again, two certain this game: motion controls and Pokemon spawning right on top of you.
Yep.
Yeah. For me, it's always Zubat. Zubat almost wants to like chase you around.
Yeah.
Whether that's actually a thing or not, I don't know. But it
is
like it is.
Yeah. 100% confidence based on my anecdotal evidence that it's a thing.
Like I know for a fact, like Tentacruel, you see them on that water route, and they will chase you. That is a thing. But it feels like Zubat does the same thing here. Kerbis just missing the Magnemite range. It's about a 70% for Pika as a base case. So a little unfortunate there for him. But again,
this Voltorb is guaranteed at 15, but good. Takes it one shot that for T-Pat, which is good, which is normal. Magnemite should be one shot. Yeah, that'll be good. Nice. Suffering there. That's good. Like to see it.
I love to see the synchronization that we had there for a second between T-Pat and Crisis. Same number of catches, exact same plot point. You love to see it. These runners are all tightly bunched right now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think Pika's going to be so close to leveling up for Kerbis. He might have to catch something on the way to Misty for that last little bit of experience.
Kerbis also getting poisoned here. That will take a turn away. Assuming he wants to heal that off, which he might not.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he goes with here. This fight seems really annoying for Pika. It's not very annoying for Eevee.
So this is the plus attack specific strat that he's doing. Usually in this fight you use Thundershock. And you Thundershock the Coughing first, then you move over to the Echoes. Kerbis looks like he's kind of done a hybrid of that, where he went after the Coughing first with Headbutt, and that doesn't KO. The idea behind the conventional strat, I'll call it, is you want to get rid of one of those two, so you're not getting mollywopped with two attacks.
And Kerbis did get 15, so we're all good there. Straight on to Misty. And we're going to have a very close exit. Mount Moon for all three of these runners. Yeah, and there's nothing T-Pat's going to want to catch here. The only one would be an Ekans if he didn't get one before. He already has one, so...
And he did.
Oh.
Yep. T-Pat getting the extra PP up. Do that as an extra money item. It also, like the Nugget, sells for 5,000 Pokédollars. So we'll see how he uses that, whether he forgoes picking up an additional Nugget.
Well, and he'll have to pay Poké taxes on that extra money, too.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I'm so sorry for these jokes.
Look, as the shameless lawyer in the room, I will gladly be the butt of the joke. That is perfectly fine. As a tax attorney, I am clearly the life of the party. That's just how it goes. So yeah, I'll at the expense of being a few jokes, I will take being the life of the party. And if you believe that, I have some nice beachside property in Oklahoma I'd like to sell you.
So T-Pat did get quite a few AVs in special attack, so that's nice at least. So in theory, Misty's Gym easily one-shot the Golding, maybe one-shot the Starmie. We'll see. But this is one instance where the EV is not going to suffer for minus attack. So that's good news for now, at least.
Yeah, so important to note that our runners just taught very important moves for EV. That is, I'm probably going to butcher this, but you may all laugh at me in chat. Bouncy Bubble, which is a 90 power water move, which is essentially Mega Drain. So it takes half of that, the damage inflicted, and then puts it back onto you. Mm-hmm. There is Buzzy Buzz, which is a 90 power electric move that always paralyzes. And then finally, there is Sizzly Slide, which is a 90 power fire move that always burns. Notably for T-Pat, those first two, Bouncy Bubble and Buzzy Buzz, are both special type attacks, whereas Sizzly Slide is a physical attack. Mm-hmm. Let's see if he tries to, in potential neutral cases, avoid using Sizzly Slide because it is a physical attack, and lean more into the AoEs that he has in special attack.
Mm-hmm. You could definitely do that, and it would be a pretty interesting strat to go with. All right, let's see if he one-shots the Starmie after powering up here and killing poor little Psyduck. This poor Psyduck.
Just never has a chance. Whereas Starmie in both versions can be arranged depending on your stats. Scald,
nice.
I think Scald is about 150% chance to burn, but they say it's a 30% chance to burn. I don't know about that. I feel like it's more like 150% chance to burn. So regardless, somehow avoids the burn from Scald, and just a great fight because he does get that one-shot range on the Starmie.
And then also has enough hit points that he does not need to heal again before going on the bridge. Doesn't need to worry about the quick attacks, which is also great.
So, Azarian, you and I have done the commentary together a couple of times now.
Mm-hmm.
We are on to Nugget Bridge. These Pikas and Eevees are stupidly overleveled. They are just destroying everything in their respective paths.
Mm-hmm.
You know what time it is?
No, I don't. What? Where are you going with this?
Everybody's favorite game of Is It a Sandwich? Insert theme music here.
All right, what do we got for Is It a Sandwich? What about an omelet?
Okay, my stream's back after cutting out there for a second. You unfortunately all missed me making very nice, Price is Right style theme music to Is It a Sandwich? Anyway, for today's edition of Is It a Sandwich? So we've had a number of French runners in this tournament, and we're glad to have them. Runners like Saiyan,
Yaxo, I think.
Yaxo, they've contributed a great deal to this community already, and in the spirit of that, and because one of the Americans' favorite pastimes is poking innocent fun at the French, today's Is It a Sandwich is going to be tailored towards them. Is a crepe a sandwich?
I am leaning towards yes. it is.
Interesting.
Because the outside is kind of like bread-ish. But let's see what chat says.
Yeah, I would say no to this. A crip is like a specialty pancake. I'm struggling to like justify. I mean, it is a bread-like substance in a sandwich, but like, but you then also say like a pancake is also a sandwich. Like, you put butter
I would
on the
say a
top of it, and that
McGriddle
becomes
is a McGriddle a sandwich.
a very tasty sandwich, of which I have partaken many times.
See, that's how you make a pancake a sandwich, right? You have to have something between it.
We're getting a question from chat: Is T-Pat's name a sandwich? Because you just have the state of Pennsylvania between two T's. I'm not sure if two T's would be a bread-like substance, but I do appreciate the sentiment. Amber saying syrup in the middle is a sandwich. I think I may have stirred up a bit of a hornet's nest on this one.
I'm sure this isn't an original thought, but what if the criteria is you eat it with your hands? I mean, that could be one thing, right?
Like, I'm trying to think. I mean, there are some monsters who eat like sandwiches with fork and knife. Like, I don't know.
I mean, sometimes you go to a restaurant and they make like a sandwich or a burger in quotes, and it's just stacked so high because they try to put so many ingredients on it. Like, there's no way to eat it with your hands.
Yeah.
But the kind of exceptions.
Yeah, but does that like take away the sandwich ness from it? These are the questions that you get on Poketax and Yoziron's commentary stream that really fuel the imagination and get the creative and analytical juices flowing. So that's what we do here.
We're helping shape international policy here, bringing nations together.
Yeah.
All right, almost done with this freaking bridge, though.
Yes, I was going to say we're getting back to kind of mildly relevant and not completely overwhelming things here. Pikachu has a range on this coughing, which Kerbis does not hit. Crisis just went for headbutt, knowing that he did not have the range there. It's a much better range if you're at level 18. Whereas at level 17 and below, it's just kind of not good range at all.
And T-Pat pulls ahead, right? No. Oh, never mind. I was desynced a little bit. Let's see if we get a Squirtle. We get Psyduck.
We get Venonat.
Don't go for the Venonat.
Crisis doing the... Oh. All right, T-Pat is going for the Venonat. Venonat's a scam, as we all know.
It just wobbles side to side and does this crap. Ugh. Venonat, and then you even miss. Yeah.
As we
Venonat is bait.
Venonat is a scam, as we all know. By the way, nice skip from Crisis. Very few runners actually do it. But it's called knock skip. It's essentially risking a battle to avoid waiting on a spinner. So nice execution on that. I am certainly not brave enough to do that myself. There's only a couple of other runners that I've seen in this tournament who are willing to do it. But Crisis being one of them, so nice job.
And like anything, like when you describe it, it sounds pretty easy, but then doing it fast in a speed run, it's definitely challenging. Like that's the trick with it.
Your benefit is 2 seconds. Your drawback is, 30 seconds lost. So I think most runners, again, for that reason, don't do it. But hey, if you can, if you're so inclined, I mean, we said from the top, this is going to be a close race. And little optimizations like, hey, can you hit a knock skip? Hey, can you remember, flying out of Erica's gym? Do you go under the roof and save that animation time? Like, these maybe in earlier rounds might have been trivial, but here, those 2 or 3 extra seconds you can save. You're looking at Crisis and Kerbis right now, basically in sync, albeit Crisis having one more poke. It's just these little micro optimizations that these runners will do.
Oh, Bill is ditched. Right? Did they ditch Bill, or did I focus too much on T-Pat?
I don't think.
No, I don't think they did it right.
I think this race got a little too much on the line to ditch Bill. Shout out to the race that collectively agreed to ditch Bill earlier this round. That was downright hilarious. But yeah,
no, they didn't. I just can't watch 2 things at once, or 3 things at once. No, Bill is human for all 3 of these runners.
Darn. Oh, I will say he does wear a purple shirt, so it's like,
yeah, he would be a great Halloween costume. Very easy to do.
It's like, Bill, are you sure this was completely an accident? Like, you're kind of almost looking like you're trying to cosplay into this. Again, we're just asking questions here, Yaziron. Like, asking the questions that the people want to know about.
I know.
Crisis almost jumped back into Cerulean City, by the way. I have done that before, and that is 30 seconds of your life you never get back.
Nanab berries for Kerbis.
Yep.
Picking up those just in case.
And he's not the first runner I've seen do that now. I believe I saw Etiquette do it as well. You do get nanabs from just randomly from Pokemon that you catch, but there are times when, for whatever reason, you've just gone 20, 30 catches and nothing's given you any nanabs. And then you have like an Abra on your screen, which good luck catching an Abra without nanabs.
Abra, Ghastly, potentially Tentacool, like big offenders there. Good candidates for nanabs.
Pidgeotto, if you get to that point. So, again, picking up items is not a huge time loss, 2 or 3 seconds, but again, we're talking micro optimizations here. So, little things that can kind of add up over the course of a run, positively or negatively in this case.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the earlier races was like 6 seconds difference between first and second. So every second really does matter here. But it's hard to tell when you're 45 minutes in, how much you need to rush. But a few seconds here, a few seconds there really adds up.
And I think this is a good point, in case people may have joined us a little bit late. We talked about kind of the implications of this race right at the top. As Crisis gets an immediate Growlithe, you'd love to see that as a Pikachu runner, because you'll use that as a ride later on, as well as a companion on Route 9 fights.
Oof.
Fortunately, missing the circle there, as Growlithe does like to jump.
Oh,
Kerbis has the Abra spawn. Unfortunate.
It's painful.
But
Growlithe,
does get the pupper.
Don't walk into the trainer, please. Don't do it. Okay. I was worried for a second.
Just to reset where we are in terms of the implications on this race. EPAT has 3 points. Each of Kerbis and Crisis have 2. It's relatively simple, first and third. You get first in this race, you're moving on. You're just fine.
Crisis.
Go ahead and do the Vermilion skip. He only caught the Growlithe there. That's okay. Watch his catch count. It's probably a little on the low side now as a result, but
wow, T-Pat's resetting this.
I mean,
I like it. He needs those levels badly.
He does. Really much of anything here.
Not getting the Pidgey, saving the Pidgey for... Yeah, and he's saving the Pidgey for Route 17 for the 3 pokes. Because there was one over on the
Breakout on
left.
Jigglypuff. Yeah, Purvis with Breakout on Jigglypuff.
Oof.
Jigglypuff can start to be a pain if you let it. And there's a second one. Yeah, Jigglypuff, if you start to let it float around, can really be annoying. So he wants to keep chucking balls at it.
Big time experience for T-Pat.
There is a. Now, some
Level
of that
12
is...
Venonat hype. I think you forgot to
Some of that was
deposit
just
that.
the Venonat getting a bunch of levels. Normally, you want to go ahead and deposit. Purvis doing the slow walk past the 2 trainers. Very conservative, but hey, you get past him any way you can. So we were talking, just kind of resetting, and an Abra and a glowing one at that for T-Pat. We'll go ahead. We've seen a lot on this route, so we'll go ahead and kind of reset things once these runners get on the bit, get onto the SSN or start to walk towards Route 9.
Yeah, there's a lot going on at this very moment.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Unfortunately, the reset kind of keeps getting pushed.
All right, after T-Pat hopefully successfully does the trainer skip, we can reset and catch up with the stakes.
Yes. Already
EV
level
21. Like it.
That is, I mean, an absolute necessity for T-Pat.
No Jigglypuff, though, for T-Pat, right? That stinks.
That's correct, yes. He does have both Jigglypuff tough marked, but unfortunately, nothing there. There are a couple of options to get it later on. You can get it on the mythical walk back up. I never really get anything on the way back up because you're not using a lure, but stranger things have happened. By the way, selling the PP up is the follow-up to our prior discussion. So he's got a little extra money to work with. So let's see how he goes ahead and uses that. Crisis on Rival 3. Gonna go ahead and use Growlithe as the companion. X-attack the Pikachu to take out the Jigglypuff. I'm kind of keeping an eye on T-Pat's shop while we go here. Seeing what his play is with this extra money.
Yeah, just needs to make sure he buys special attacks, not special defenses. Good call.
Yep. Yep.
And the guard stuck.
So he does keep quite a bit of money in reserve. But probably getting a few extra Great Balls, probably getting a few extra X special attacks. So you're seeing the conclusion of this fight here for Crisis. Knocks out the Oddish with Headbutt from Pikachu and the Flamethrower from Growlithe. So nice fight there from Crisis. Crisis, I would say, holds maybe a slight lead right now. But it's way too early to start talking about who's leading. There's a nice pace copy pasta that I'm sure somebody will drop in the chat.
And I mean, T-Pat has 2 extra Pokemon, including the Abra.
Which, I mean, I drop in the chat.
But yeah, T-Pat ahead on catch count, but doesn't have the Jigglypuff, which is the easy evolution. So hopefully he sees one on the way back after the boat fight. If not, we might see some Nidoqueen, Nidoking on the Eevee version.
T-Pat was the one who wrote up Nidoking strats notes for Eevee. So he does have a liking of doing those strats. So,
and this would be a good time for it, right? With the minus attack. I think
would be the time to do it.
Yeah. So we might see some little spice coming from T-Pat as he hopefully gets a Nidoking.
Or as they call it, a Pikachu. Just playing the game. We keep things spicy on the Pikachu side of life. Run Pika.
There's nothing spicy about Eevee. It's just grinding out the RNG.
Yep.
One Pokemon to carry
coming
everything.
back up.
Ooh, and the Abra.
He's got an Abra. Let's see if he can get behind it. He does. Nice. Now, other question. What is the level on this Abra? It is level 13, so this is actually going to need a couple of levels to evolve. I believe Abra does not evolve until level 16, but you should be able to get that using the Route 9 catches. So
it's still absolutely worth it. Yeah, it's still totally worth it to catch it. Yeah, it's right there with the Nanab. It's easy. 3 levels, no big deal. It'll level up on Route 10. So
yeah, there is the option in Pika to actually use Kadabra. He obviously will not do that here because he doesn't have a Kadabra yet. It's an Abra. But getting that extra poke, again, especially in a race setting, you want to have that high catch count. And we've been talking about it for TPAT, having those higher levels. It's a similar thing really for all 3 of these runners. But now let's go ahead and reset. We were talking about doing it earlier, and then things happened. Many things happened. That's a repel right there. I'm taking a mental note. Okay. So it boils down to win this race, you get a round 4. Get 3rd in this race, it's over. Like that'll be the end of the line for whoever of these runners gets 3rd in this race. It depends on who the runner is. For TPAT, 2nd place, and you move on. One of the other runners, it's a bit more complicated. For Kerbis and for Crisis, they can get 2nd place, but in so doing, the median time, and the current median time is roughly 3:08 and change. So it's going to take a little bit, not just of luck, but you need to beat that median time in order to get another round. So all these runners obviously are shooting for first if they can get it. I mean that's
absolutely
6 points if you're TPAT, or you want to be on 5 points if you're Kerbis or Crisis, if you can get it. But
TPAT takes Jigglypuff off the tracker, makes sense, and then queued up Nidoking, hoping to will that into existence.
We will see. Presumably, for all 3 of these runners, then we will see Nidoking strats, because that is the standard in Pika. Of course, if these runners don't find a Nidoran male, which of course they will find Nidoran male, because that's how this game always works. It will never not give you Nidoran, if you believe that. Again, the lakeside property or the oceanside property in Oklahoma is up for sale anytime anybody wants it. There are backups to that. You can use Nidoqueen as well. Probably not quite as optimal. You can find Nidorino and use it. But yeah, finding Nidoran male is important. Again, probably followed closely second by Nidoran female in terms of things you want to find on Route 10. Really for Pikachu at all times. Certainly with TPAT, both having the minus attack EV and having the Jigglypuff unmarked. Yeah, he's going to want to find the Nidoran as well. So we see...
Oh, level 14 Venonat, just going for the Venomoth, level 31, I believe.
That will be coming out of Fist Party. I think that was
carry it through to endgame. Carry it through all the way to Elite Four, and it'll finally evolve.
Yeah, I think that was an oversight on TPAT's part. There's a menu right before you hop onto Route 6, which is usually where you deposit any additional pokes. My guess is he's just overlooked that. As somebody who himself neglected to deposit a very important set of Pokemon yesterday, I know the feeling. By the way, TPAT did keep the Helix fossil.
Yeah,
okay,
what the heck?
This answers the question about the Vermilion shop. presumably is using that as a backup in the event he doesn't get the catches he wants to get. So he can go ahead and keep that fossil and revive Omanite if for some reason the catches don't go the way he wants them to go. So just another little backup in case.
I don't wish any bad luck on any runners, but I do kind of want to see that. Like I want to see that and him still get a good time. That would be awesome, but it's probably a reason that's not normally in the route.
Yeah, you do lose some time because you got to go talk to the guy on Cinnabar Island. You have to go into this little room, then you have to leave, and then you have to come back, and it's like, indeed, we've brought this back to life. So it does take some time. That's why we usually just go ahead and sell the fossil there, because it's a purely speedrun perspective. It's not optimal. But Urbis getting his Nidoran male. Nice. T-Pat
close call there. With
barely wandering past that rotator. Nidoran male there for T-Pat. Like to see that.
And it's first too, so that's good too. It'll definitely evolve before Rock Tunnel.
Yeah, you get those extra levels on it. For Pikachu, you ideally like to have King at 28 before you enter Rocket Hideout. So, Yazarian, you're absolutely right. Like you want that whatever you're using, whether it's Nidoran male, Nidoran female, which will turn into Nidoking, Nidoqueen, you want that to get as many levels as possible, because once you start hitting level 28, you get a lot more hitting ranges.
Level 15 Venonat, we're doing it. I'm on the Venonat hype train.
I'm pulling the emergency brake on this train. Nope.
We gotta synchronize Abra.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I think everyone's getting the Pokemon they really need for the most part on this route. And we saw some Krabbies. I think T-Pat's probably looking for a couple other things, but he did get there later than the other runners. So Spearow, that's a good spawn for him. He might repel after the Spearow, after he sees one more spawn, but Urbis just moving on.
Yep. Now, 18 is certainly not... he could also see him go back. He just wasn't finding any crisis spawns. He does get a glowing Raticate. If you'll remember, earlier on, he did catch Rattata. So this is the payoff for that. Instead of having to...
Nice throw. Raticate gives a boatload of experience. And you don't have to sit through the evolution necessarily. So, very nice.
Let's see if it's supersized. It is not, but it's even more experience than Graveler. Like Graveler in Rock Tunnel is 1801 if it's glowing and not Wumbo. That's 1900 and change glowing and not Wumbo. So it's even more of an experience bomb than Graveler is. So really nice to have that there.
So I have an important question though. Can Raticate close its mouth? Look at its teeth. They're like perfectly aligned.
We are just asking some...
I mean, we are asking
the questions today here. These are the questions that the people want to know the answers to. Yeah, I think that thing's got a hard time closing its mouth because it's got some chompers, man. There's a reason it learns Bite and Crunch and Hyper Fang. Like,
or Raticate.
You know,
yeah, let's see if Kerberos goes back.
Let's see what he does here. I think he might try to go back.
No,
he does not. He's going to go ahead.
Is rolling.
Now, 18 Pokemon. I will say at one point, or actually my PP that I had prior to the start of this tournament, did have 18 Pokemon. As I'm about to sneeze, my apologies.
I mean, 18 is fine. You just basically need everything in Rock Tunnel.
Yeah, you got to get everything in Rock Tunnel. You got to get like Ghastly.
This Machop was a jerk. There we go. Nice Machop catch. This fight's very easy for the Eevee version. You just beat up the Raticate without much effort. And I assume T-Pat's just going to go straight on the Rock Tunnel. I don't think he's going to wait around, really.
Same story for Crisis. I will note at this point, I don't want to jinx anything, but Crisis did tell us, we chatted a bit before we came on. Crisis told us he was feeling really good today, and was really shooting for a PB. And just looking at his pacing, looking at the number of pokes he's got, that is not an unrealistic goal. He's had a very nice first hour and some change here.
Mm-hmm.
Again, so much can change in this game. He hasn't set foot into Rock Tunnel yet. And that can... by the way, Kerbis with a Graveler, just not glowing, but still, you want to get that for the EXP. But Crisis might...
Oof, Joy-Con moment.
Oh, no. And you don't want to see that on Graveler. Because that just cuts your experience by, I believe it's a third right off the bat. Again, you're really relying on that for some experience. And Crisis is still pretty low in the EXP department. He's just hit level 23 with the Graveler. So a development kind of worth monitoring here. Like, that experience
Kerbis is just going to sit through an evolution hell for a couple minutes so we can watch the other runners.
Yes. A sandwich, pick your feet up on the couch, whatever, for a few minutes, and come on back once everything's evolved up. T-Pat also getting his Graveler. Again, also not first catch, and not ideal. Just given, minus attack, you want to be getting as much experience as you can.
So this
still got Venonat.
We're talking about this tricky call here for T-Pat, right? So he could deposit everything in his party, but then he's 1C. So do you wait until you have something else you want to keep leveling up? Or do you keep something in your party, like Graveler? Well, you'd have to put Graveler in your party. But let's see what he does.
Now. So if I'm him, what I do is I use this as my opportunity to use my Moonstone on my Nidorino.
Yeah, good call. I would bet that's probably what he's going to do.
And then deposit everything, and then you've got the 2 Pokemon in there. And actually, at that point, you don't have to rent menu for the rest of Rock Tunnel. You just have those the remaining catches. And that's actually one of the nice things about catching Graveler in his situation, because Graveler just goes straight to the box. So you don't have to worry about depositing that. Kerbis evolving Nidorina to Nidoqueen. He did have 2 Moonstones, so I would expect him to use the other.
He has both marked, so yeah, he's going to get both of them for sure.
Yeah, and so we're seeing just that from T-Pat. We're seeing he's going to go ahead and evolve into Nidoking. He's going to deposit his other 4 Pokemon that aren't Nidoking and Eevee, and then he'll let his party fill up. So it actually saves a menu. From T-Pat's perspective. It's kind of one of those advanced level strats where you're like, okay, how do I reduce the number of menus that I have throughout this run? And T-Pat recognized, hey, there's Graveler. It's going to go straight to the box. I don't have to worry about putting it in later. He's actually going to go ahead and add a couple of additional 1-level Evo pokes as well that needed to get in. But removing Nidoking, interesting. That's not what we expected to see.
Oh, I totally forgot he had a couple Pokemon in the box to bring back. Yeah, that makes sense then.
Yeah. So we had expected to see Nidoking strats here.
Kind of
especially
surprised.
given minus attack.
Yeah.
So I think we're both a little surprised to see that, but maybe figuring he's going to get. He's going to get a psychic move here in a little bit, so even more relying on special attack. So again, we'll see what the strat is, but again, T-Pat's been there, done that. I fully expected him to be able to adapt accordingly.
Yeah, Crisis the only one with the Rhyhorn so far. Still very early, but getting the early Rhyhorn makes you run a lot faster. So
Sure does.
That should
And
speed
again,
up that
we've been
rock
talking
tunnel
about
time.
those little optimizations, and this is one of them. You get to run around on your Rhyhorn for 2 floors. Your character doesn't get, nice big swole legs, but you get to go around. By the way, getting big swole legs is not something that actually helps you in this game. I know that comes as a surprise.
Kangaskhan's got some swole legs. Look at that.
Kangaskhan's been hitting the gym. Oh, Crisis, kind of playing with fire a little bit here.
Wow.
Elected not to heal and lived on 4 from the Kangaskhan. But hey, it
worked.
He found a way through. It worked. Yeah, that fight is scary, especially for Pikachu, because Pikachu's defenses are just not good. Crisis now finding a Cubone. Cubone is a We've seen it now for 2 runners here, where Cubone just decided, you know what? I know this guy's going to throw a ball at me. I'm just going to jump over to the side. So I think Kirpus had that same thing happen.
Fortunately, T-Pat doesn't get ranged, and does 2-shot the Kangaskhan, so good news for him. Good news for even the minus attack, being able to deal with that.
Yep.
But he's still looking for that Rhyhorn.
Okay, Glowing Graveler on Crisis' screen. Does not use a Raz. I personally believe that is an oversight. There are some runners who don't believe in using Razes, but this is one where you absolutely want to use it. He catches it anyway,
He proves you wrong.
Yeah. See, this is what I get for opening.
Outcome bias.
Yeah. By the way, it does look like Crisis is going to go ahead and use Nidoqueen. Did he catch?
No, he didn't get the
He did
Nidoran
not.
nail. No.
So, some pluses and minuses there. Mostly minuses, but there is. Ooh, Kirpus almost getting hit by the spinning hiker. Minuses are we may be seeing some Clefairy shenanigans because you do not one-shot the Clefairy on route. I believe it's route 8. So, and that thing has metronome. So we may see some metronome nonsense. It also comes in handy for certain fights in Rocket Hideout. Okay, T-Pat getting his Rhyhorn in. It's a glowing one at that, too.
Ew.
Rare Char for Crisis!
Rare Char, let's go.
All right, let's go. Not use a Pokeball on that, friend. Now, one of the annoying things with Rare Char is its attack cycle is very quick. So, even noticed him just wait out an extra cycle there. So, smart play. T-Pat does get the Rhyhorn. Nice catch from Crisis getting that Rare Char. Nice EXP bomb, of course, for T-Pat. Now, if you're Crisis, you want to take Golbat out of the party. You want to bring Rare Char, so that it can get its level of Ultra Charmeleon. That's 2 Pokemon real fast for you.
Yeah, and T-Pat's was supersized as well, that Rhyhorn, so just gaining all the levels. All the levels.
Again, yeah, you'd love to see it, especially like he didn't quite get the amount of EXP on the Graveler because he didn't get it first throw. Picking up there, and again, I've said it, 1,000 times in this run already, that minus attack nature, the way past it is just get a bunch of experience, and that's what he's doing.
He's not going for Venonat strats, unfortunately. Didn't gain levels off that Rhyhorn.
Yeah, that was a ship that ship was heading nowhere. So glad he went ahead and hopped off of that.
That could be an alt main Pokemon. I mean, it would be a miserable run, but
yeah. Hello, any psychic types. I have no moves for you. Bye. Hello, psychic types. I'm just going to get psychic real quick. Bye. Yeah. Don't use Venom on so please.
I'm
T-pad,
trying to look at the
bit of a-
trackers to see what they still need.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, so T-Pat would like a Machop, but it's not even marked as planned, so maybe he's just gonna skip it if one shows up. Because it does take 4 levels and learns a move. So it's a bit slow.
This is in really good shape. I think Crisis can just go ahead and wander his way out.
And Kerbis has 40 planned Pokemon, so bold strategy.
Are we doing Kicked by Koga today? For those who might just be stumbling upon us, first, welcome. This is a great run. We're glad you're here. Second, a large portion of the motivation, that was an Onix just chilling there on T-Pat's screen. Big part of the motivating factor for this run is another giant Onix on T-Pat's screen. He's finding those rocks next today. And that is the correct call. Do not catch that. It's only one Pokemon, and it's a hard one to catch at that. T-Pat is going to go ahead and get this Machop, which showed up for him here last second.
Yeah, his plan was at 48, so yeah, this is going to be a good one to round it out.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, so the idea behind the run, generally, is get 50 Pokemon. And you need that in order to get into Koga's gym. Each gym has a gym requirement, ranging from extremely, extremely important, Koga's requirement, to downright trivial, have a, let's call it, be able to cut down a bush when it's required in order to advance the plot, to just downright mean, which is Erica's cute Pokemon requirement. And if Grimer counts as a cute Pokemon,
What doesn't, right?
This criteria. What are they doing in Erica's gym?
I think they just need glasses.
Yeah, right? Cute Pokemon. Yeah. I feel like that's... also, not getting the range for Kerbis on this Rival 4 fight, a little bit unfortunate for a couple of reasons. And not getting it again. So unfortunately for a couple of reasons.
Oh my god, I thought he got it, but it's just like the tiny literal one hit point.
So it is. So you frequently, and this is what we were talking about earlier with Kerbis's experience. Being level 24 on this fight means that you do not get the guaranteed Thunderbolt. So actually what Kerbis did was he went ahead and used Zippy Zap, which is even worse of a range. Oh no. So the effect of that was the Pidgeotto actually sand attacked the Nidoking.
Oh no.
And we're seeing it now. That gave Gloom an extra turn and put Pikachu to sleep, so we had to heal that off. Nothing incremental to the run there, but just again, we've been talking throughout these little time savers or time wasters.
Mm-hmm.
This is one. And yeah, being at level... Come on. Apologies, my stream keeps cutting out, so you'll find at random times I just stop talking. Yeah, but I was saying like this Pikachu being at 25 is going to cause some issues.
Yeah, versus this fight's relatively straightforward for Eevee. No worries here.
Yeah, you'll see it for Kerbis in both Rocket Hideout, which we're about to head to here in a minute. You'll also see it in... you'll also see it when we come back here to Pokemon Tower for the third Jesse and James fight. Spoiler alert, there's another Jesse and James fight between those two. Neither one of them are fun.
So they use the escape rope to get out of here.
Yep.
For first of two we
Kerbis
use.
doing the standard. We're going to do a little juxtaposition. Kerbis, by the way, did not catch Rhyhorn. Not a big deal for Pikachu. Because what he'll do, he'll pick up this Firestone that's in this patch of grass that you cut down, and he'll probably go ahead and evolve his Growlithe into Arcanine and use that as a ride. So, big deal for Eevee to get the ride. You'll have to do some planning around not having Rhyhorn. Specifically on the second J&J fight. But again, it's not as detrimental as it would be if this had happened in Eevee. So now we get to see the super involved Nidoking versus Clefairy strats in Pikachu. It goes fight, poison jab, bye-bye. Super involved there. What we'll see is here, Crisis will not bother to make the same switch that we saw Kerbis make, which was bring Nidoking out to the front. He's just going to go ahead, keep Pikachu out in the front, and use Pikachu to take out the Clefairy. Unfortunately, that takes place in 2 hits. So, get your exclamation point metronomes out there in chat, because we're about to see something. It could be trivial. It could be like Tackle. Or it could be hilarious, like Self-Destruct. Or it could be very detrimental, and we don't want to see any of those very detrimental things.
Did T-Pat hit 28 for Double Edge? I didn't
see him. Yeah.
Let's see.
Just to follow fire point, Kerbis getting the Arcanine here early. You would normally wait to get Arcanine, but with the low. Okay, so we're about to see some metronome stuff, actually, on both T-Pat and Crisis' screens. He did hit 20.
Minimize.
Oh no!
But it's a range!
Oh, he gets through it. Oh. What happened on T-Pat's screen?
Wait, what?
What happened?
What did Clefairy use?
Whirlwind! Oh my gosh! Okay, so
what a ridiculous.
that falls into the category. Both of those moves, I would say, fall into the category of like detrimental. Minimize.
It's also ridiculous for Eevee because normally Double Edge one-shots, but it didn't because of minus attack. And also, I recently learned if you're 28 neutral with no attack AVs, it's also a range. If you have one attack AV, it's fine. But wow, that is just pretty bad luck.
Yeah, that was. Those were some. I just need to stop speaking about potential adverse effects events for T-Pat because, like, we saw what happened in round 2. We're not gonna. But if you watched his round 2 race, you know what it is. There's some announcers jinx going on here with yours truly and T-Pat, so we're not gonna do that anymore. Okay. Anyway, moving on past that. Eevee teaches the move Glitzy Glow. It's a psychic type, 90 power move that puts up a light screen, which halves the power of opponents' special moves. So you do that, and then you will talk to this fine woman by the name of Madame Celadon, who conveniently enough lives in Celadon City.
Celadon, Madam. Is her legal name.
If she lived in Vermilion City, would she be Madame Vermilion? Like, would her name just change?
Yeah, and then it's like Nay Celadon or whatever, like when you get married.
Yeah. Anyway, and she will go ahead and so there's no abilities in this game. So normally you would have the ability synchronize in like Gen 3 and on games, which can essentially give wild Pokemon a nature corresponding to that of.
How did Kerbis do that, Rattata? What an eagle eye! I did not see it.
He's been eating his carrots. He can see right through that building. So she will,
Oh, yeah.
for the low cost of $10,000 $50. You thought the Magikarp from earlier cost us a lot at 500 $50.
Outrageous amount.
Outrageous
would say.
10,000 to set everything to modest. But we're going to need that because, spoiler alert, we're switching mains at some point. And that main needs to absolutely be of the modest nature that T-Pat just got. Also, just time to point out, like, how close this is. This is just
So
such
close.
a close race.
Yeah. Even the catch counts were, they were identical, but then Crisis caught a couple, but that rare char paying off. It's evolving into Charmeleon. But yeah, they were all at 31 and synced up very closely. And then this fight is much better for Eevee when you have double edge, so then you can just double edge and X attack in one shot. You don't risk getting put to sleep or anything like that. So it's very, very, very nice to have. Oh my gosh, but it's a range again. But fortunately, yeah, doesn't put anyone to sleep. Just smacks the Rhyhorn once, and it's
this
alright.
is why we don't want to run like. Yeah, in casual runs, we try not to run minus attack because it just shows up and shows up and shows up and shows up, and
it's infuriating.
Yeah, and you're like, why is this a range? Oh yeah, minus attack. Oh yeah, minus attack. It's the same thing every time. Now this actually for Crisis is where Nidoqueen is actually a little bit better of an option. So he's going to go ahead, X-attack the Nidoqueen, and crunch this Hypno. Crunch being a Dark-type move and super effective on Hypno, takes Hypno out in one hit. So that's really nice for him to take that. You're not getting put to sleep or getting stuck or anything like that. So it's a nice fight for Crisis. That's really the big advantage of Nidoqueen versus Nidoking. Again, there's downsides to it.
Point out.
He had Pika against the Clefairy and got minimized. But yeah, it's not without some benefit.
Yeah. And interesting here from T-Pat. In this fight, normally if you have higher hit points and a good attack, you just double edge both these Pokemon and knock them out. But he had to adapt a little bit, but it's still going well. And now he's full healed, I think. Or close enough. We'll see. But hopefully for him, he doesn't get hurt by, in this fight here. Then he can avoid healing later, but we'll see, I guess. Hopefully no minimize. Or minimize and then just don't miss. That easy.
So we're going to see some variations. If you've watched other runs, these next few fights for both Kerberos and Crisis are actually quite a bit different than maybe what you've seen before. Here, because Crisis does not have Nidoking, he's actually 2-seeing this fight and using Rhyhorn as his operating poke and using Drill Run on both the Rat and the Voltorb. Normally, just waltz in with Nidoking. Nidoking just does either 2 or 3 shots that fight with Poison Jab, but using a little bit of teamwork to go ahead and knock out that fight. Kerberos, we're going to see, because he doesn't have Rhyhorn, we're going to also see a little bit of different strats coming from him, but that'll show up more when we get to the Jesse and James fight here in a minute. Oh no, minimize on Crisis' screen. Again, he's got to be getting sick of this. Unfortunately, hits through.
Huh? Interesting. A lot of variance in these Pika runs. It's very fun to watch.
Yeah, it's they go really, really well. Or they can just quickly veer off plan, whether it's you miss a range that you anticipate you would hit. Essentially something that's weak to poison, to bait out, targeting the whether it's a Paris or Jigglypuff or a Clefairy, something weak to poison. So you get poison jabs. So essentially you're avoiding getting double targeted. Unfortunately, as you saw there, Clefairy just got a level, and that's a few seconds of time, but.
Yeah.
We'll see how that strat works. Again, you're going to see 3 very different fights here between our 3 runners for this J&J2, which T-Pat is starting right
Yeah,
now.
let's see if he goes for the Rhyhorn one-shot or the more standard... Oh, Rhyhorn one-shot. Everyone cross your fingers. Let's see.
See it.
Nice, he gets
And
it.
gets through the paralysis. Very
Yeah,
nice.
very clutch. Gets through the paralysis and kills it. One shot. Love to see that.
So hedging his bets here a little bit. Gonna go ahead and Glitzy Glow, just in case this Rhyhorn gets fully parried. It doesn't. A nice fight from T-Pat. With the adaptation with Rhyhorn getting parried, going ahead and realizing that the Rhyhorn was 25 and that's a favorable range on Arbok. Nice fight. Now we're going to see another way of doing it. Meanwhile, T-Pat himself in another important fight, so we're going to keep our eye on both of those while Kerbis is getting really, really dizzy over on his screen. So he's actually going to use Nidoqueen. So he is going to use Drill Run Helping Hand. Presumably on the Weezing, you're seeing the X attack burst. Rhyhorn gets double targeted. That's fine. Unfortunately, does not get the range. He'll stomp the Arbok. He'll probably heal the Rhyhorn here.
And Rhyhorn's level 26 too. That's brutal.
Yeah, that might be a minus attack. Rhyhorn. That's a pretty good range there.
Oh, T-Pat's just racking up all the status effects.
Yeah, there's poison, there's paralysis. Yeah, he's having a time over there.
And Weezing was left at 1 hit point there too. Just rough.
Yeah.
Rough all around on these ranges.
And same on Crisis' screen. Unfortunately, not getting this Rhyhorn must just be really mid attack.
The fairy power of love. It gets killed anyway. Poor little Clefairy.
Actually, that ends up being very good for Kerbis. I mean, Clefairy's sacrifice was not in vain here.
It's like, I love you so much. I tried to survive. Yeah. Oh wait, I just die anyway.
Yeah, so getting double targeted means you're much less likely. In fact, you can go ahead in all likelihood. Yeah, now no. If he had targeted the Nidoking, you could probably have gone into the next fight without healing. But because Pikachu got targeted, unfortunately going to have to heal. So we're seeing now over on T-Pat's screen, we're seeing the first Giovanni fight, boss of Team Rocket. And again, you want to see a nice contrast between the two editions of this game. Look no further than this fight, because essentially be relying on burning the Persian using a 1C fight. Now, caveat here, we'll see if
he's
that
fine.
minus attack.
T-Pat's good.
He's fine. Yeah, that
No
that
worries.
crit. So, he crit on that system slide. So that's a
Great
fight
fight.
for T-Pat.
Pretty great hideout all around for him too, I would say.
Yeah. Interesting strat here from Crisis. This is Pika. He actually went with headbutt X special attack. Idea being there, trying to get the flinch on the Weezing, and then you come back on the second turn, Thunderbolt Helping Hand. A little less time for healing, except you can still heal right now. And gets the goal bad anyway. Little optimized tech. You're still getting that free turn fight, but you also have a chance to flinch the Weezing instead of having it attack. But it's pretty lethal, so you don't want that attacking if you can help it.
Yeah, so for anyone keeping track, Chad is talking a little bit about how many turns were lost to minus attack. 4 or 5, probably safe to say, which I think would be less time than actually resetting, probably. So
And
it's
I
not
agree
too
with
bad.
that.
Yeah.
Me personally, again, I run a T-Pack getting the extra Ultra Balls here. Presumably he's a little bit lower of a catch count. Wanting to make sure he's got enough Ultra Balls to get what he needs to get. He doesn't have Tenta marked at the moment, but
Yeah, I think for that it's going to be if Weezing shows up, probably no Tentacool. If it doesn't, Tentacool. But then also, or not Weezing, Ghastly. I mean, if Ghastly shows up, probably no Tentacool. But if Ghastly doesn't, then looks like Tentacool time. So really hoping for that
exactly.
Ghastly, I'm sure.
But we're seeing the other way of doing this fight from Crisis, which is essentially get your Pikachu as jacked as possible. Take it to +6 attack. And then go ahead and Zippy Zap Persian. And then on turn 2, you come back because you've already got a very, very buff Pika. You go ahead, double kick the Rhyhorn and get the Help Hand from the Nito. So it's a nice 3-turn double fight with Persian usually using Fake Out anyway, so you don't really get the chance to have it be 2 turns. So it's a really nice design and pretty safe fight. Into
So Crisis looks behind, but has 2 or 3 extra catches depending on who you're looking at. So looking all right. And there's the Ghastly for T-Pat. Let's see. Is he going to nab it? I assume so, but it would be bold not to.
Yeah.
Not really moving. It's just chilling.
Yeah, you'd like to see that. As you see, T-Pat did not pick up the Nenabs, but he got 8 just naturally.
Yeah.
So as we were talking about earlier, like, was it Earth who picked up the Nenabs? Just again.
Yeah, T-Pat had 6 Nenabs when he caught the Abra, so he's alright.
Yeah. Does not need another Ghastly. Seeing if he's got everything he could ever potentially. He could actually, if by chance a Tower Zubat does show up, he would take that.
Oh yeah, he didn't catch Zubat. That's true.
We're doing the opposite with T-Pat as I've done in the past, where it's like we're gonna say good things that could happen for T-Pat instead of awful things. We're just gonna make it happen. So. Alright, meanwhile, Kerbis getting Fly, so he can fly right on back to Lavender, where T-Pat is now.
T-Pat with the free heal and pretty good spinner pattern there, so that's nice.
Yep. Up to the second Chandler. Alright, and Kerbis, of course, already has the Arcanine, so just taking that little extra second or two that gets you. Normally you're walking there with the Growlithe behind you, and you're like, can I go any slower? But not in this case for Kermis. Of course, that's because he did not catch the Rhyhorn earlier on in this run.
Pretty unfortunate. Oh,
And
doubling back.
Ghastly for Crisis. Very nice.
Ghastly
Nice to see
is
that.
a pro. It's showing up in the wrong spots late.
Yeah. Where Ghastly gets a little scary is if it starts moving around.
Ooh,
Kind
good.
of like that, but it's a
Very
fine
nice,
position
though.
for it to end up in.
That nice.
That should be good to go for
Oh, and
Crisis.
all right.
Add a
Kerberos
Kerberos
too.
Ghastly as well.
Perfect.
It's starting to move around. You kind of get a little nervous because it might end up in especially if it gets up on the screen like it just did. That gets you a tough throw.
Ooh.
It did not look like a tough
Fingers
throw,
crossed,
but he doesn't
chat.
get the circle.
Let's go.
All right.
Very nice.
Circle, no problem.
It's that Ultra Ball.
Yeah.
Phew. Yeah, I was nervous about that one.
I like to double grate those, but again, if it starts moving around and it's moved around before I can get the nanab on it, that's when I'll try to get that great ball out, because at that point I'm a lot less confident that I can hit a circle. So yeah, did not. Kerberos did exactly what I would have done in that scenario. Bad position, but he made a great throw on it.
Yep.
All right,
T-Pat in a tough fight.
This is a tough fight.
Fancy for Crisis in the meantime.
Oh,
bonjour.
Do not catch this. Okay,
the last moment we could see one this run, I think. Oh no, I guess they can show up later, but on Route 17.
Okay,
but...
Rhyhorn gets double targeted for T-Pat. Unfortunately, that faints. Not like to see this. The EV notes literally say, "Do not get unlucky in this fight," and this would be considered getting unlucky. Fortunately, it is better than the EV. Machop getting knocked out, that's also unfortunate. You want Machop to keep getting leveled.
Yeah.
Of course, every time you bring in a new Pokemon into fight, it takes a little bit of time.
It's okay, he'll get through the fight, but this is rough.
Can take a hit from Weezing. I think he's in pretty good shape here. He's going to go ahead and use this turn to revive Machop, because he's still got to get some experience on it.
Yeah, he's fine. It's just like time loss for the dead Pokemon,
Yeah,
but he wasn't at risk of losing the fight.
Right.
And then Eevee learns a move. Yay!
Yeah, you're totally going to use Helping Hand.
Now Eevee is done. Eevee is going to be retired from this run. Now we're moving on from Eevee. So Pika enjoyers are happy.
Moving on to greener or bluer? Purpler pastures?
More star-shaped pastures.
Yes. More starry pastures. We'll call it that. Yes, T-Pat being on 32 catches, I think it's going to be a development here. It's not crazy low, but you could imagine a scenario very easily where he's got to wait for something, or
he's really banking on Pidgey for sure. It's not marked, so he's banking on the 3 there, and he's looking for Psyduck. If Psyduck doesn't show up, you catch Tentacool, which is fine. But he really needs the Pidgey.
If you see Pidgey behind the bush, cut it. Like, it's annoying. Yeah. It is time loss having to cut the bush. But you know what they say about a bird in the hand? Yeah. Worth 2 in the bush.
All 3 runners actually don't have Pidgey marked, so they're going to be looking for Pidgey. It's interesting. No one went for the early Pidgey. Poor little Clefairy.
Clefairy once again dying for the cause. Thank you, Clefairy. Over on Kerberos' screen. He's still got Nidoking out. wonder if he's got good enough special attack to go for a +2 helping hand range. Usually, you go ahead and deposit Nidoking before you go into Pokemon Tower, unless that's special. That's special attack's awful. Like, in special attack, so he's not going to be able to hit this range in all likelihood. Yeah, but it's fine. Weezing does a little bit of chip damage, but nothing else. Again, this is the end of the road for both Pika and Nidoking, so nice fight from Kerbis, getting that one out of the way. D-Pat, meanwhile, cruising down Route 17.
Skips the super lure, just relying on the normal lure. Oh,
Yep.
Gets 2 important Pokemon. Not all of them, but 2 important ones.
Right. These are, I would say, these are probably the 2 most important, the ones you absolutely, well, in T-Pat's case, he really also needs to see Pidgey. But these are kind of the 2 non-negotiables. You gotta get Doduo, you gotta get Ponyta. And he's done that here, so...
And the small little optimization he did is he got Doduo first before the Ponyta, so that way, because you want the experience on Doduo to evolve, versus Ponyta, you just use the rare candy. So catching the Doduo first, right move here.
Yep.
And the rich get richer.
Yes.
Calling the minus attack Eevee runner the rich.
Imagine that.
Wow, Kerbis and Crisis are super synced
They're
up here.
super synced. Yeah, you've got Crisis with 2 more catches than Kerbis. Again, I'm just going to reiterate, Crisis has got a nice run going here. And, his PB, we were talking before the stream started, he said his PB was a 306.
This is definitely faster than 306 pace.
This is faster than a 306, in my view. And, these 2 runners that he's going up against here today, T-Pat and Kerbis, T-Pat's PB is a 259. Kerbis's PB is a 301. So just on paper, you would say, well, Crisis is an underdog. But Crisis is playing very well right now. He's determined. He's motivated. He's clearly eating his Wheaties this morning. This is just because the matchup isn't this favorable on paper. That's why we do the races.
Absolutely.
It's fun to see. Again, if you were just looking on paper, you would say, "Oh, Crisis is punching above his weight class." Not necessarily. This is an accomplished runner in his own right, and glad to see that. Also, Crisis is cutting the bush. Love the move when you see the Pidgey.
I don't.
Grabbing the
Was
PP
that
up on
intentional?
accident.
I don't think so.
I didn't know that was a PP up. He's got some extra money if he wants it. It's actually, now that I think about it, you could actually use that PP up and boost your Starmie's Psychic PP. Why not? You could get 2 additional Psychics out of it.
Maybe it's a secret tech we haven't discovered yet,
Maybe.
And Kerbis does see Doduo and Ponyta, so that's very nice. Very nice for him indeed. But Crisis got the Pidgey, though.
Pretty good start to the route.
Psyduck.
Keep getting Psyduck. That's great. He just needs that Pidgey. And really needs that Pidgey.
As if not, you're looking at like a Tentacle plus Magmar or something.
Yeah.
Or a Fossil, I guess.
Yeah, that Fossil in his back pocket. Crisis talking to his Ride Poke. Crisis can go ahead and try and catch this Rapidash. Not advised. But if you don't catch a pony, it's the next best thing.
And his catch count's good, so I don't think he's necessarily worried about that. So just wants to get the fast one.
Count is odd, and it's just like, okay, I can skip the pony. And T-Pat does get the pitching. Excellent round 17 from T-Pat, especially given his catches. That is a lot of experience from that Rapidash.
Oh yeah, and it was only a 70% chance, 69 nice percent chance.
Nice.
So, yeah, very good catch.
Yes.
So T-Patch is good to go now.
That's
Got all the
T-Pat's
stuff
gonna
he
just
needs.
roll on out of here.
Yeah.
Get your rare candy. Consider picking up the silver rabbits tier 2. She does. Makes that Starmie catch just that much easier. He doesn't have Tentacool marked right now. If in the event he wants to pick up Tentacool, it makes that catch a lot easier.
Yeah, I think if one like swims into him, he'll probably catch it, but I don't think he's going to go out of his way for it.
Yeah.
But if it runs into you, you might as well, and then just skip wheezing, in my opinion.
Let's see. Kerbis
needs spawns.
Yes.
Oof.
So he's got Pony. He's got Doduo. Yeah, that's the one he needed right there. Was the
Yep,
Digi.
there we go. He could use a Psyduck, but we're kind of at the end of the road. I imagine he's just going to keep on going.
Yeah.
Maybe a last-second Psyduck, though. We have the cutest cutscene in the game for T-Pat right now. Eevee saying hi to a bunch of different Pokemon.
Shout out to Mrs. Poketax, who I can smell made microwave popcorn in the other room. I'm sure Mrs. Poketax is going to come share some of that microwave popcorn with Mr. Poketax.
I hope so, for your sake.
Poketax! Mrs. Poketax, where are you? I can smell that. Marriage, I tell you, man.
Yeah, so Kerbis just rolling along. Did not get Psyduck. I'm trying to look at the... Okay, Kerbis marked all the planned Pokemon. So we got 49 planned now. So it's going to have to find one more somewhere. Well, he doesn't have Tentacool marked. So Tentacool...
I would assume that's going to be it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, stars galore for T-Pat. Let's take a look at the CP on this star for him.
Oh my god.
1101, that's a beast. Now, I will say, I had actually this exact CP in a practice run leading up to this tournament, and it was 0 IV attack, or 0 IV special attack, excuse me. I almost yeeted my Joy-Cons out the window, but it can happen. So all that is to say, like, it looks really good right now.
It has a good chance
Tentacool
of being very good, but it's not guaranteed.
It has, but it's certainly better than if it were, let's say, 1001. So a nice find for T-Pat.
Crisis skipping the silver Razzes.
Yeah, he's
just to
probably
save a couple
figures at
seconds.
this point. Yeah, at this point, he's just got.
It would just be
Staryu
for
to catch,
Starmie,
so-
basically. Or Staryu, yeah. Hey.
On the land, we're
Yeah.
probably looking for a coughing for him.
Star for
Look, a coughing,
Kerbis.
not speaking.
Let's see.
Okay, let's take a look.
1057?
1057. That is slightly below average. Average being 1062.
Could be good though. You know,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's
Again,
not like the
all-
900 something I saw the other day. So
all it takes is special attack being really good, and it being just fast enough. That's all it needs. So, you know, it could go very much either way with both T-Pats and Kerbis to start. Now, if you saw like something absurd, like 1150, you could say, oh, with some authority, like, okay, this star is completely busted. Like, it's got pretty much perfect Emmys and everything. But there's enough there that's like, plus.
Is there a max and a minimum that's known for these stars?
Is. 962, I believe, is min, and I believe max is 1172.
Jeez. Well, I've never seen either of those.
I was gonna say. I mean, it's quite a bell curve, right?
I've seen a couple 900s, but yeah.
Okay, so Kerbis, this is an important couple of moments here for Kerbis. He sees his Grimer, which he's absolutely going to be catching. Are you into the party? Let's get a look at T-Pat. Oh, that star is busted for T-Pat.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
very good special attack.
That's a great star.
Yeah, and we'll see Kerbis is here too.
Kerbis is. It's slow. Mostly it's slow. The special attack is,
Fine.
I would call it mid. It's fine. Yeah. But it's gonna run into some speed problems with the Rapidash coming up in Blaine's gym. Oh, it did get a speed AV there though.
Price is 1052. So similar to Kerbis.
Slightly below average range. T-Pat, getting the what appears to be the bulk of the star luck out of these three runners. The rich get richer. How rude.
So is T-Pat done with catches? I think so.
T-Pat's done.
Yeah, T-Pat's done with catches.
And Crisis is also done.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get this water stone,
And
obviously.
Kerbis just needs the Grimer.
Crisis will, of course, remember to use the water stone.
Hey. Not my finest moment.
Hey, you play this game for long enough, and everybody's got their fair share of moments that are just not quite up to what.
I wish that one would have happened in an offline run, though. But
it's all good.
All right, we'll see some stats here for Crisis.
Take a look.
Special attack's better than Kerbis.
That star is fine for Crisis.
Yeah, that's a pretty good star. I don't think it's as good as T-Pat's, but it's definitely good.
No, T-Pat star is pretty.
Magmar, let's go.
Oh,
I love a good Magmar catch.
Going for the Magmar. Yeah. Crisis star, I would want to be in a 100-meter dash sprint with that thing. It's very fast. T-Pat is a little bit better in the special attack department, which is probably the more important one. And first ball Magmar, let's go.
Yeah, very nice catch. Like, the Magmar patterns are not difficult, it's just a low catch chance. But I think if you want to risk it, you can also wait till the lure wears off, so it's lower level. But then with the Silver Raz, Ultra Ball, he got a great, so probably just under like 70% chance, I would say. Because we're seeing with Excellent, it's 74%. But we hit a great there, so maybe a little bit lower.
Hey, we're about to hit Blaine. And let's just do a quick reset for those who might have jumped in. This is a huge race. First place, you're guaranteed to continue moving on in the tournament. You'll make it to round 4. Not a guaranteed semifinal, but you'll keep going in the race as Crisis just gets blasted by this Grimer. Third place, can't afford third place. Third place is, in all likelihood, eliminated. T-Pat has 3 points, Crisis has 2, and Kerbis has 2. So, T-Pat can actually also afford a second place.
Yeah, T-Pat just needs to finish and get some points. He'll be alright.
Yes, that's correct. It's a little bit more complicated for Crisis and Kerbis. They would both need to, again, get eliminated, which would be third. And for both of them, they're not just looking to get second place, but they would need to beat the median time, which is currently 3:08 and some change. I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong here on this, Yazarian, these runs, all three of them are on excellent pace, and I would go so far as to say they're probably well clear of median.
Yeah. Still a bit to go, but I think if this keeps up and they keep playing this well, I think we're looking good. We might see some 1C.
Another
Bonjour.
Bonjour for Crisis. Another Bonjour, which he surely should not catch. Yeah, these are... He's seen chances in two of the rarest spots to see them, in
what the
Pokemon
heck?
Tower and in basement here of Mansion. And they also coincide with two that you absolutely, positively do not want to see. Kerbis using Magmar as his... And this is a really... We'll talk more about this strat when we get to the blue fight. But using Magmar, because he caught it, is an option. Crisis just keeps getting blasted with encounters.
Yeah, keeps getting pop-ups here. Not good.
T-Pat's star is just excellent. He did get the turn 1 Confused Ray, but healed the confusion off, didn't get burned, so his fight against Blade is just fine. And he's just gonna keep on moving. Like, this is another very fast run from T-Pat. Again, in spite of the minus attack.
So Crisis skipped the Max Elixir. So
Yeah,
does that
that's usually
indicate
the strat.
like a
That's
2C
usually the strat in
later?
Pika.
Okay.
Because you pick up the ether there.
Oh,
on round
yeah.
25.
That makes sense.
Again, the idea there being you want to get God menu throughout the kind of mid section of the game.
Gotcha. Always forget
I
there's
will
the
say-
slight difference at the end based on the rivals Pokemon. Because everything else is pretty much the same, right? It's just the
I
rivals
will
Pokemon.
say
is
I
different.
actually picked it up yesterday. I was playing very, very safe strats in my race with Furious and Iron. So I actually picked it up because, I'll be honest, I didn't want to get in a scenario. So the ether menu is a little bit sketchy, I'll call it. Where you just have to make sure you ether the correct move, and if you don't, it's run over. Like, you have to make sure you scroll down 2 moves at just the right time. I'm like, okay, I'm not dealing with this. My hands are sweating. I'm in a big race. I need to make sure I get second. And so I actually picked up Max Elixir, and then probably lost by like 17 seconds. I regret nothing. that ether can be very scary. We'll point that out when we see it. Again, turn 1 confusion from Magmar on Crisis's screen. That's standard. Again, heals it off. He's ready to go on that. His star was quite good and should have no issues on this Blade fight. Kerbis, we're going to be following a little bit more closely, I think. Because his star did have that lower speed stat. We would expect for him to get outsped by at least the Rapidash. I don't think it was low enough to also get outsped by the Ninetales, but again, we'll check that to confirm.
Yeah, let's hope it's not that low. That would be quite a problem.
Yeah. It's, again, you run this game for any length of time. It's like, yeah, been there, done that. I know what that's like. And spoiler, it's not fun. Okay, 3 out of 3 on confusions for Kerbis, Crisis, and T-Pat on the Blade fight. T-Pat going into the completely trivial Lieutenant Surge fight. Scald 3 times, hit 3 Pokemon, win 3rd badge. A whole bunch of 3s there. Whereas we're about to see probably some more interesting developments over on Kerbis' screen.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. Yeah,
There's a
slower
flare
than
blitz.
117.
But it's perfectly fine. He
Didn't
goes
get burnt,
ahead,
right?
does not get burned. Let's just make sure the Ninetales, he outspeeds the Ninetales.
Phew.
Does. Okay. And we're through that fight. So, again, we're not through getting all 50 Pokemon, of course, the requirement for Koga's Gym. But I think we're starting to kind of get an idea of where these runners are relative to one another. I think it's fair to say T-Pat has probably edged out a little bit of a lead. One fewer catch, but is probably about 2 to 2.5 minutes ahead in plot progression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we still have a couple big things coming up, you know. So
yes, we sure.
2 minutes
can
go away in the drop of a hat. If
sure
if
do.
There's still an hour left.
There's still an hour left. There's the entire Elite Four. There's Giovanni 3. There's some little fight called Archer 2, which, as you might race, I had an 8-turn Archer 2, which actually gave you like quite a bit, even despite Waterstone shenanigans. Give you a chance actually to kind of start to catch up. So, yeah, a lot can happen here. Kids, remember to Waterstone your Stardies.
Yeah, so T-Pat's about to test which Pokemon are classified as cute. The only one that does not get considered cute is Zubat. No, don't believe that. They're all cute. Just seeing if I could slip that by.
I got memed again. Okay, that's what I get for all my Waterstone cracks. That was totally justified.
Yeah, but this is I find this gym kind of fun. Erica's gym, just running around, chopping up the branches and everything is kind of fun. I always overcompensate for the trainer vision here, like really hugging the corners. I haven't hit any before, but I'm always worried if I'm like 1 pixel too close, they're going to catch me. And then I'm going to have the easiest optional trainer fight in the game at this point, but...
Right.
Always worried about this part, but it's fun.
Also kind of worthy of note, just to from our perspective, we're always making sure we're saying something while this section is going on, because for whatever reason, this gym, it's the longest you get exposed to this particular music. And fun fact, there's a copyright claim on this music. So we're talking.
So we're talking. Poketax is going to do the Poké rap. So,
right.
No, I don't really know the Poké rap that much.
See that bus you just threw me in front of?
I would never. As an upstanding member of the Let's Go community.
Alright. Phoenix makes a good point. You will get one portion of the Poké rap. Omastar! Omastar!
Yeah, so we're having Crisis is going down to start the gym as well, so not too far behind T-Pat. Kerbis teaching Thunderbolt here, making sure Starmie has, all the kind of necessary moves. I think we can see, let me see the special attack here and the speed. Oh wait, no, it doesn't show it again, JK. But I thought it would show it again afterwards, but pushed B too quickly.
Kerbis's was pretty good special attack, but again, rocks in the socks speed.
How many socks do you think Starmie wears? That's the question.
The answer is 5, one for each of its...
Well, there's the one on the back too, right?
Oh, that's right!
Yeah, or it could just be the two that it walks on. I mean, so, how many socks would the Starmie actually wear?
We're asking all the important questions here. Yeah, I guess Do you just put it on the front? Do you put it on all of them? Do you put it on just the two it walks on? Um,
It's like that
also,
creepy
shout out to
image of
Chipper. I
like.
can't remember.
It's like that creepy image of the horse. Like, how would a horse wear pants? And then it's like, does it cover its four legs, but it's like horizontal across its body, or does it cover like the whole body and it's vertical across the neck? Like, how does a horse wear pants, right? So how does Starmie wear socks?
I remember one of the GDQs, they were talking about, does Caterpie have knees? And I think there actually is now a runner named Catterknees. So just fun little things like that. Again, we've got Kerbis and Crisis just having their way here.
What brand shoes would Starmie rock? I don't know if this is like a setup for a joke or it's just like something being asked. When you get an off-ball question like that, is there a good pun for that, or is it just a talking point?
Yeah. Good quality Pokemon jokes. Okay, so Doc Martens or whatever Starmie's shoes are aside, we are about to face on T-Pat's screen. We're about to run into the blue fight, because naturally the first thing that you think of when, hey, we're going to take on this evil gang is, I'm going to fight you to make sure you're up for the task. So we're facing blue for some reason. That seems counterproductive, but
despite his purple shirt.
Yeah, shout out to blue for being a bit color confused in that respect. Kind of like Bill. Bill and Blue both wear purple shirts. I sense a conspiracy. Anyway, so the standard fight here is you bring your Starmie. Starmie's got nothing for this Executor. It's crass psychic. It's a nightmare for Starmie. So we just load up Dodrio with an X attack, drill peck it, and Executor is eviscerated into the dust. And you switch the favor once Charizard comes out. Go ahead, scald that, and then X special attack the star, and blue is history. T-Pat actually doing a little unconventional. His star is just goated, skipping the X special attack, saving probably a couple of seconds in the process. 130.
130 already? That's insane.
Monster. And 129 speed on top of it. That thing is just a absolute monster. So T-Pat.
It's time for Archer to come up. T-Pat.
Leaving Blue and his Pokemon in the dust. Not that they couldn't have helped, take out Team Rocket. Whatever. And into everybody's favorite fight, Archer 2. This is just one of those fights. It's a double battle with your rival who you don't control as your second player. For some reason,
might be a rich get richer moment. This might be a even up moment where Crisis catches up.
Yeah.
So this will have a lot of implications for the next part of the run, like who's neck and neck. So let's see.
The Muck first at standard. The Muck has mean moves. Okay, we've kind of got the VGC opening where Muck protects. Electrode self-destructs. It's fine. It's not as bad as Electrode Thunderbolting, which I've now seen in each of my last two runs. A little bitter about that. But let's see what...
Well, Crisis is actually doing the other version of the fight too, where you have Rapid Ash in there. And it's actually a little faster than the Dodrio one because you don't have to swap your party around and stuff.
Not
when that happens, because there is the risk.
Not when that happens.
Yes.
Now, this presents a bit of an interesting scenario because he's only got Doduo. I think high enough attack, this can still KO.
It can, but it's definitely not guaranteed. Good.
And
okay.
that's what he
Still
does.
Gets it. Good.
And it's totally fine. He can go ahead and leave the Rapidash fainted. If you leave the Rapidash fainted, that's fine. He's going to get a free heal after his Archer fight. He doesn't have to worry about reviving or anything like that. Meanwhile, T-Pat's fight appears to be going pretty smoothly. Like the Storm, he hasn't had to heal at all.
Suddenly,
You've
this
gotten a
is
couple of hits into it.
really close when you incorporate catch count into this. Very, very close.
Yeah, it's close. I think you would have to say advantage. Pat probably more than, again, copy pasta. I'll let somebody else paste it in this time. But probably more than a minute ahead in terms of plot progression.
I think
and
one of
he's
these
through the
Pika
Archer
runners
fight.
is going to get the 4-turn fight, and then it's going to be close. Let's see.
Let's hope for their sakes. And no Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts are mean.
Yeah, Thunderbolt's something you definitely don't want to
Thunderbolts
see.
Thunderbolt para into fully para into needing to heal into fully para again. I'm still
Yeah, let's
bitter.
not see that.
No, I'm bitter about that. Oh man. So Crisis starting up the much anticipated / dreaded Archer 2 fight.
Self-destruct for Kerbis. Good.
Like
Good.
a good
And no
turn
protect
one
from Muck.
self-destruct and no protect. That's perfect. That's
Great
exactly
turn
what you
one.
want to see. That's how you could possibly get the 3-turn fight. If Cubone cooperates.
And the same for Crisis, too. Wow.
Nice.
Oh! Wow. This is great for both of them.
Yeah. And Cubone, for each of them, cooperate. Okay, hold that
Love
down.
to see this.
Interesting to see the different Pokemon order. They did nothing, had the same fight, but Crisis has Wheezing out instead of Golbat. Pure randomness of this game is fun. Unfortunately, it looks like Kerbis got headbutt from the Cubone. That is what we call not cooperating. But he's
Yeah.
still going to get the 4-turn fight. No protect there. Crisis actually still
yeah.
on course
If
for
the
3
Cubone throws a
Possibly.
Boomerang, yeah. Come on,
turns. Yep,
Cubone.
if he throws a
do your job.
Boomerang, this is the 3-turn.
Nice.
The 3-turn from Crisis. You'll love to see that.
Wait, and Kerbis is done too. Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very, very nice.
So we had a 5-turn from T-Pat, a 3-turn from Crisis, a 4-turn from Kerbis. That's not bitterness you hear in my voice, I swear. Also, I know I've said this now multiple times. All 3 of these runners, not just T-Pat. I mean, you would kind of expect these fast runs from T-Pat, right?
Mhm.
This is a legitimately fast run from all 3 of these competitors.
Yeah, I would say there is something about just racing that makes you push yourself and focus. Well, I don't focus, I screw up. But generally, people push themselves and focus more. And that's why we've seen a lot of PBs so far, only on Swish round 3 and a lot of runners at PB, because I think they try to keep up with, someone who on paper is better. And we might be seeing sort of the consequences of that here with Crisis and Kerbis just crushing it, to be honest. These are very, very good runs.
Yeah. By the way, you just have happy accidents. Remember,
Yeah.
kids, Waterstone your starters. Friends don't let friends go around with starties. I could keep going.
But the rest of the fights in this are pretty trivial because Starmie is just so over leveled at this point. You just crush Jesse James. Geo, you just scald your way through it. So they're cruising along for a little bit now, and
I was gonna say, my PB. I can just giving a frame of reference here. My PB, which is a 303, a high 343 or 343. Wow.
wow,
A high
that's
303.
great. Is that for
Anyway,
AOP?
um, um, so it's exactly 220 with 48 catches here. T-Pat, as you can see, is well below that, and and Crisis is likely going to be below it as well. Like, that gives you just an idea of how fast these runners are going.
Mhm.
This is not just, oh hey, like, it's a competitive race. This is legitimately, these
Yeah.
runners are going.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is you know what's on the line. You cannot finish last in this race, and all three runners are aware of that.
Yeah, and they've done a great job of adapting to some unfortunate luck that has happened earlier in the run. I mean, that's the point of this run, is being able to adapt to all the curveballs that get thrown at you, and they've been playing very well. And I guess Crisis is a little ahead, but very close to synced.
Yeah, so I just caught another whiff of Mrs. Poketax's microwave popcorn that she totally didn't offer me. I think she's
Dang
like
it.
hovering in front of the door just to like taunt you. Or may have put the bag in front of the door.
Pumping it into the
Yeah.
air vents like they do at malls with like the food court and the pretzel stands and stuff.
No, Mrs. Poketax is, I think, having a little fun at my expense. Yeah, I think this is what happens when you race on Saturday, commentate on Sunday, and ignore your wife both days. Whoops. Sorry, Mrs. Poketax, but also this is cruel and unusual punishment.
T-Pat doing the buy menu here. Let's see.
Yeah, I think to answer the question in chat, I think T-Pat still needs Pidgeot, but this is pretty consistent in my that you're able to get Pidgeot.
There's no
on
concern
catches,
of that. It has to evolve, but
Yeah.
it's going to happen. That's fine.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Pidgeot.
It'll just be, take the roughly 30 seconds that it will take for it to evolve. So Sabrina's gym, she also has a gym requirement. It's have a level 45 Pokemon.
Which coincidentally we have
Sabrina does
when
not.
we start this.
Yeah, we do have. You know who doesn't have it? Sabrina. So Sabrina, in theory, should be kicked out of her own gym. Irresponsible gym leading. Really, really awful stuff that we're seeing from these gym leaders.
And just for newer runners, you can watch what T-Pat does here. You try to line up the teleporters pretty much directly in the middle, or there's sometimes a diagonal angle you can hit. So you just run straight onto it, because if you miss, your character will stop and then like turn and then walk on it, which takes up a little more time. So we might see that with some of these. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same with elevators. We just saw Kerbis getting onto the 7th floor elevator, and you noticed he wasn't quite looking at the middle of it. He does here, so that worked well. But it's the same thing if you're on an elevator. If you're not looking right at the middle of the elevator, your character will take a second, kind of be like, huh? Where am I? Who am I? What am I? And then turn. By the way, Crisis using a little different route here to get through Saffron. One thing I think worthy of note for these runners, let's see what they purchased. I didn't get a good look at T-Pat's. I'm assuming he purchased an X Defense.
I don't think he did. I was watching and I didn't see it.
T-Pat may be going safe strats. Crisis definitely buying Expedeps here. So we would expect probably one CD coming in on Champion Fight as well as Lance's fight.
Yeah, was it Kerbis or Crisis? Crisis has the good start, right? And Kerbis is like kind of mid.
Yes.
So Crisis can
Kerbis
much
has-
easier 1C stuff, but Kerbis's is
Yeah.
rough, unfortunately.
Kerbis's big issue is the speed. The special attack on his is okay. The lowest of the three, but the bigger issue is even the speed. If I'm Kerbis, I'm keeping an eye on my speed throughout here. Normally, like, if my speed's good enough, it's like, okay, I don't have to get. I'm generally looking at, when my star levels, I'm looking at defense, special attack, special defense. So like those three in the middle. So if you look at T-Pats right now, you see 98, 134, I think that was 100. Okay, so I'm looking at those three. It's just like a quick way I can, those are the three stats I need to know. But in Kerbis's case, I've also got to keep an eye on speed. Make sure I'm at least 128 before I face that rival 5 fight coming down the pike, because otherwise Pidgeot's going to outspeed me or could potentially speed tie me and use Air Slash, and I would be very sad to see that.
Yeah, that would be rough. We never want to see that. Sabrina fight for Crisis here, hoping for no light screen. Backup though, turn 1 light screen is okay. Second turn light screen, not so much.
T-Pat did get the turn 1 light screen. That's kind of your standard, I feel like, anecdotally. More fights than not, you get the turn 1 light screen. No light screen is the dream. Okay, this is turn 1 reflect, so this is kind of more an unconventional fight. Turn 2 light screen, which is the worst.
There is an easy strat to deal with it. It's just it costs an extra turn because you heal here. Normally you wouldn't do this heal here.
You burn the turn with the super potion, and you just keep going.
Because you need to wait for the light screen to wear off before the next Pokemon comes out. Otherwise you can't one-shot it. So we're just buying time.
Also turn 1 light screen for Kerbis. Again, your more standard fight. Then into Reflect, this fight's perfectly fine. No issues here with crits or Spadef drops or anything. This is very safe. Probably will actually make up a little bit of time on Crisis. Probably make up a little bit of time on Crisis here because he got the turn 1 light screen instead of the turn 2.
Just a little though.
1 poke. Yeah. Of course, I mean, now they're just gonna
let's see how much they do to Jinx. Well, okay, yeah. Well, Crisis is fine, but let's see how Kerbis does on Jinx. Might have to Hydro Pump, I think, if it doesn't do enough.
I think the special attack is good enough there. Okay, 128, 130, 128 special attack for Crisis. Yeah, that's definitely fine. I think he's gonna be all right here to Scald.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about variability and sources of variance. T-Pat is walking into the hornet's nest of that. And we're not even talking about Koga. Koga's dedicated apprentice, Aiden. So this fight, it's a fight, man.
The other day I had a run that got here, and, you'd use Minimize, and then poison me, and then use minimize. I just accepted my fate, and my Eevee just died to the poison. I was like, this run's over, but let's wait it out.
And that T-Pat gets the perfect. He gets turn 1 protect.
Very nice.
Which fails, so no extra turns occurred there. You have to set up that X special attack first, which is why you gotta wait that 1 turn before you can start attacking. But Muck can minimize. It can poison. No protect from Beedrill, which I feel like never happens. That Beedrill is just like designed to protect. But perfect Caden there. Get richer for everybody's bingo card.
Yeah, 3-turn fight there is just phenomenal. Because you can get poison and have to heal it away. Protect can just keep coming at you. Like, didn't waste any psychics because you Scald. So very, very nice.
Now, Koga. can't get turn 1 explosion. I actually got turn 1 explosion yesterday.
Once in a while, it happens. Yeah.
My heart rate. So I actually wear a watch which detects my heart rate, and my heart rate spiked during this fight. And it must have coincided with a period of time in which I was waiting for the explosion damage to come through, because I'm like, please don't crit, please don't crit, please don't crit. And it did. So it actually lent itself to a faster fight, both because you don't have the extra turn. Okay, another nice looking start for Crisis on Caden. Both because you don't have that extra turn, and it seems anecdotally less likely the other Pokemon that Koga has will use Protect if you're at low HP.
Yeah, I feel like there's some correlation between what the Pokemon I'll choose to use, but I'm not exactly sure what it is with the protective stuff.
Other games, it's like under half, the AI starts to change a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all 3 runners getting turn 1 Protect from Muck, which is perfect on Caden. So Caden is being kind of a pal. I didn't see if Crisis got the Beedrill Protect. I just assume he did, because that's seemingly what always happens, as we see over on Kirby's screen.
It's not the end of the world, though. You know, it's one turn. You can accept that as long as everything else goes fine.
Yeah, exactly. So Crisis, or T-Pat's got some plot progression to do. He's going to learn how to push boulders. That's important. To find out who the 8th gym leader is. Ooh. So he'll be a couple of minutes, but let's focus in on these Koga fights for Crisis and Kirby.
Poison. It's pretty normal, but still
Poison,
stinks.
yeah. You gotta heal that off. You can ignore it on Caden. You can't ignore it there. Turn 2 Protect is fine. Crisis has good enough special attack to scald both the Weezing and the Venomoth. So saving Psychic PP. Kirby will likely not have that luxury, his special attack being a little bit lower. He'll probably need to Psychic, so he'll need to be watching that Psychic PP usage.
2 for 2 protects on Crisis. The dream. No, just kidding. Don't want to see that.
There you go. Kirby getting turn 1 Protect from the Weezing. Again, optimal. You don't want to see turn 1 Protect from anything else, but you absolutely want to see it on Weezing. And no Protect from the Venomoth. That's nice. And Kirby, you're just thinking, okay, let's not waste Psychics. Nice fight from Crisis, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, and Kirby's is actually potentially looking better. Only 1 Protect so far.
Yeah. This is a big one right here.
Wow.
Oh, what a fight!
I mean, great fight for Crisis, but even better for Kirby with only 1 Protect versus 2.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
What a fight.
Yeah.
And these runners are putting pressure on each other, and they're putting pressure on T-Pat. I would say T-Pat is, again, probably a minute, maybe a little bit more ahead, but this is not over by any stretch. I would assume T-Pat's going to use some safer strats leading in this race.
Mm-hmm.
But, maybe there's just ever little bit of pressure coming from the other 2 runners. Maybe you think about doing like a 1C Samuel. Again, this star is busted. Just to try and just keep them at bay. So, again, I think this is a good point to kind of reset, especially as we get into the last half hour or so of this run. If you win of these 3 runners, so T-Pat is sitting on 3 points, Kirby and Crisis are sitting on 2, which, by the way, given how well these runners are doing, how do these guys only have 2 or 3 points? Anyway, I'll leave that question to
so even, too. Oh my gosh.
Okay. So, unfortunately, whoever gets out, whoever gets first is guaranteed a round 4 match. Not a semifinal match, but a round 4 match.
2C is immune to the spinners. Sorry to interrupt, but that's funny.
Yeah. It's a nice little
special shoes.
Yeah. When I remember it, I like to do that because seemingly, like, you have to wait a second after your character gets all dizzy and whatnot. If you try to do it afterwards, it's like, okay, drop from the sky already. T-Pet's start just straight up one-shots with Psychic. Gotta love that. That thing is just completely busted. I mean, that's a range to do, but, like, that is very rare to see, so that is just ridiculously good.
Cute little cutscene with Pikachu here, though.
Yeah, Pikachu and flowers and fun, and that absolutely taking a Graveler to the cleaners because
poor little Graveler.
Starmie is a water type, and Graveler is 4 times weak to water. Never had a chance. So we'll see here kind of what T-Pat's general approach is. Does he go 2C here? Yes. So he's going to go ahead, do the safer 2C fight, take some of the variability out. We're going to be keeping an eye on the other 2 runners as well, especially when they get to Samuel. Will they 1C that fight and go for the Hydro Pump? I think both of them have good enough special attack to where that is not a range. They could hit it. Assuming they could get the Nidoking down, assuming they hit it. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. But let's take a look at T-Pat's start here to do Giovanni. Okay, getting the X special attack in, getting the Scald. Rapidash faints, that's what we want to see happen. So we're not wasting additional time. So T-Pat's actually got a very straightforward fight from here. He will just go ahead, Scald the remaining 3 Pokemon, and it's over. Purbis going
1C.
for 1C strats, who,
Crisis
by the way, has now
right?
overtaken.
Yeah.
Both of them now 1C'ing, so this is going to be pretty hype right here.
Come on, Hydro Pump.
Slightly overtaking. Let's see what the Hydro Pumps do. Hydro Pump hit and KO from Purbis. That's a good start. Crisis, let's see what he's got.
Phew. Okay.
Hydro Pump hit, out. All
we
right,
are happy.
Keep going. Yes. Bit of time on T-Pat here to see this fight. So just little incremental progress. And Purbis slightly ahead. I mean, it's not even a 1 Pokemon difference.
Yeah, no worries here for the Graveler again, but it'll be interesting to see Giovanni. I assume they'll both play it pretty safe, but I think they're going to do 1C for sure. Yep, Purbis 1C.
Yep, 1C for Purbis.
And Crisis is probably watching, so we'll see. Oh, he's doing 1C. I got to do 1C as well. I imagine is the thought
1C.
process.
These guys are sending it right now. They know you cannot end up 3rd, especially in Crisis where he's just that little itty bit behind. But even for these runners, being on 4 points might be a tough ask, because that they would almost assuredly have to win their final round race. So they're going. They're going not just to beat one another, but also trying to exert that little extra bit of pressure on T-Pat. Okay, so we've got Purbis starting. So far, so good. Turn 1. Turn 2, love to see that. Okay, turn 3, no crit, and Purbis is going to be perfectly fine. Crisis has got 1 more turn he's got to make it through, and he does. Okay. Crisis will need to heal. Kerbis can just go straight through into Rival 5, which is where T-Pat is right now, but both of these runners are going to be safe. It's a nice fight from both Crisis and Kerbis. Let's keep an eye on T-Pat for Rival 5. This is a pretty straightforward fight. The only one who, again, I'm going to take a look at Kerbis' screen. Look at that speed. That speed is one. Oh, and he gets a clutch AV to get it to 129. You love to see it. He will now outspeed the Pidgeot. We don't have to worry about speed. So he can go ahead and just go into the next fight without having to heal, and no incurred time lost there. So he'll actually heal on Rival 5. Rival 5 is a pretty safe fight if you do it correctly. Public service announcement, always use X speed turn 2. We saw T-Pat just do that on his turn 2, now using the second X special attack here on turn 3, and then he'll go ahead and heal the star on this final turn against the Red Chief. So, nice fight from T-Pat. Again, this one's a pretty safe rival fight. The only source of variability is if you're Crisis and don't heal, the Pidgeot will use Quick Attack and so long for your star, so we're addressing that. Or in Kerbis' case, if it was slower than the Pidgeot, it could Air Slash. So taking care of both of those eventualities here. So they'll keep on moving here, and hopefully have pretty smooth Rival 5 fights.
Yeah, and in case anyone's bored, we do have Gamba in the chat where you can bet on whether there'll be freezes by Caroline, which is pretty unlikely. But if you want to YOLO and perhaps get about, was it like 10 to 1 odds? No, 8 to 1 odds or so. You can pray for some freezes and predict that coming up here, which would be... I
mean, Caroline is a jerk, because she's got a Jinx, and that Jinx has... Well, you want to see Psychic. But
yeah. You don't always.
Instead, you get Ice Beam and you get Lovely Kiss. It seems like those psychic instances are kind of few and far between. And yeah, both of those other moves control, they put you to sleep, they freeze you. Caroline's
I'm going to do it. No one's betting on yes. I'm going to bet on yes.
Okay, well, we've got a gambling man here in the comms.
Yeah.
Right,
so
T-Pat.
Win some money. Quote money.
Went ahead. He's already whipped out the 2C for Naomi. I absolutely agree with that. I wouldn't be surprised to see even our two runners who are second and third do the same. Naomi is a scary, scary, scary fight. Because you're essentially relying on hitting a Kangaskhan with a Hydro Pump if you're doing a 1C.
And having enough special attack to do it, too.
And having enough...
The attack can be a range, and you have to hit the Hydro Pump. So...
Yeah, and it's a worse range than the Nidoking in Giovanni's gym. So Kerbis may not... I didn't get a good look at his level up because I was looking at the speed. I didn't get a good look at what his level 50 special attack was. It may have been a situation where it wasn't good enough for the... Or was good enough for the Nidoking, but won't be good enough for the Kangaskhan. So we'll see what that development looks like. Crisis could, in theory, send this. I think there are other times and places for taking little gambles. This just is... This is one of those really
I would
tough
say,
spots.
like, if... Okay, they're so close. So this could be a difference on an Elite Four fight. But I'd say if it was a little further between them, you kind of gamble on it, maybe. But when it's this freaking close, you probably just wait and save your gambles until the Elite Four, in my opinion. But I'm also a crazy man, so I would just maybe go for it anyway.
And you wonder, too, I mean, this is a little bit behind here, but this is 100%. So he had 306 pace, or he had 305 pace, lost 305 pace. His PB is 306. This 100% is PB pace.
Yes, absolutely.
100%.
So the question is, Yeah. Do you want to just lock in the
Deploy
PB, or
Right.
are you trying to, win the race? I think trying to win the race for sure.
I wish we had recorded the pre-race interview because Crisis, during our discussions pre-race, he said, "I'm going to PB today," and seeing what we're seeing right here, it is awfully hard to disagree with his assessment.
Mm-hmm. He's
Like
looking
T-Pack
pretty good.
getting through the hypno fight, no problem, which you would expect given just how
1 C for
started.
Kerbis, 2 C for Crisis.
Okay. All right, we've got 2 different approaches here. Okay, Kangaskhan with the crunch. Kerbis has got that's a beefy star.
Oh no, he's still alive!
It's a beefy enough star. It lives on 5.
Defense,
sucker
baby!
punch.
What?
The
Oh my
elusive
god,
sucker punch
no!
from Kangaskhan. Oh no.
Oh my god.
So he's going to revive this. Kangaskhan will outrage. Okay, you just let this KO. You take this back to full. Okay, Rapidash gets KO'd. T-Pat getting the Alexis skip, by the way, as Crisis ends his fight. So you bring Starmie back out. Correct strat here is to go ahead, X special again. He is not doing that because now he's not going to be able to KO the Venusaur.
Yeah, this is... Oof. Okay.
Okay, it's Solar Beam. All right, I didn't realize that it only had Solar Beam form, so that is fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a real roller coaster.
But you're also seeing why Naomi is probably not the spot to take those risks, because that downside is significant. You're now seeing Crisis pull easily 45 seconds ahead.
I'm just surprised Kerbis did that being ahead. Like, I was expecting Crisis to do it and Kerbis to 2C, so interesting choices.
It's a straight spot because you want to keep putting pressure on T-Pad.
True.
Try and get that first. These guys all, in order to make the semifinals, both Kerbis and Crisis need to win a race. You could get your 2 points and get into your round 4 race, but it's not going to do you any good if you don't go ahead and win the next one. Mm-hmm. So it's strange. Like, okay, what do I do here? Do I try and go ahead and win this race, even though I'm going up against as an accomplished runner as T-Pat? Or do I hope that the round 4 draw goes my way? I don't get somebody of that skill and caliber. Mm-hmm. I feel the difficult decisions there.
I get you though. I think that logic is probably exactly what went through the head, and I think you're right. Just got to do it eventually.
Crisis, unfortunately, pushing the boulder the wrong way. Okay, we were fine. We didn't push it into any corners or anything like that, so we're able to recover it. Just a couple extra boulder pushes. We're going to see T-Pat going up against... We've seen all this, and T-Pat is just kind of casually taking care of Caroline. It's been pretty drama-free from T-Pat's side, whereas obviously that was not the case for Kerbis.
See Alexa skip for these two.
See the Alexa skip.
Crisis
no
is good.
problem for Crisis.
All right, Caroline, freeze for my channel points.
We've got a commentator actively rooting against our racers here.
Hey, I want it to be closer too. I just want my imaginary internet points. That's all.
Redeem them for wait for it. Absolutely nothing.
Sleep.
Let's talk to Alexa.
Oh no! I was watching the Jing.
Because you didn't even see the exclamation point where he must have talked to her. Okay. Well, he can get out of this. The X special attack and 3 psychics. At which point you probably do. You could do one of 2 things. You can center heal, or one of 3 things. You can center heal. You can go back to Officer Jenny, who was just behind there. Or you could try and tough it out. Kerbis, by the way, 132 special attacks, so not great. You will have some Lorelei ranges in there if he chooses not to go to +6. Crisis having a perfectly fine Caroline fight. But obviously the development now is, I think if you're Crisis,
Played a little
Crisis
cool.
buddy, lock down that PB. Like,
Yeah.
this is probably the time for those safe strats to kick in. Because
Man,
if you're Crisis, you're now a full fight ahead. You're probably not catching T-Pat. T-Pat's like a 301 pace. I don't think he's getting there. But Crisis potentially 303, 304. Like, lock in. Lock that second place in. Like,
And now I don't
think
want to
gotta
see
be the
freeze.
strat.
I want this to get better, so I'm willing to sacrifice my channel
Yeah.
points. No freeze. Okay, good. Good,
No
good.
channel points for the jerk wanting our runners to get frozen.
I was donating to everyone else.
Serves Yoziren right. No gambling against the runners. Come on now. Commentating 101. Alright, so T-Pat is, again, this star is just such a beast. I don't think any of these are rages. Lapras was not a rage. One that would be Jinx. I think that's going to be safe as well.
Yeah, he's totally fine here.
Down in a heap, like, yeah. So, Crisis taking care of Dawson. And, yeah, again, T-Pat already done with Lorelei. Almost done with Lorelei, I should say. And Kerbis pushing a boulder for extreme entertainment value. Shoutouts to the game for having our runners to that point. And in fact, you see Crisis skip the full restore here. You got to imagine this is going to be 2C all the way from Agatha to Champ. Like, this is just...
Unless he pushes for the
This
PB. Well, I mean, I guess he
think
would
he's got
PB anyway, but yeah.
I think he's got the PB either way. Yeah, I think this is absolutely the correct call for Crisis. Lock in that second place. I think Kerbis, you just gotta go and see what you can get. Probably full restore skip. And just go all the way home.
Hope the Path of Legends carries you in the Agatha fight.
Yeah, that's got to be his approach in my view. Like, you've now thrown all caution to the winds. Yeah, Crisis bringing in Lapras. We fully expect to see the 2C strats on Agatha, on Lance, on Champion using Lapras, and that's become a very popular strat here in this tournament, especially with with stars that are not quite as good. Fortunately, I think Crisis is probably good enough to one-shot the Dragon regardless, but it's just that little extra safety of having the ability to Ice Shard. Ice Shard's a priority move. Ice Shard the Dragon. Kerbis is grabbing the full restore, but we will see the 1C strats here from Kerbis, presumably the full way.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the decisions that Kerbis and Crisis make from here on out.
Yeah.
Kerbis is just
Okay,
hoping
so
Crisis
T-Pat.
misses an input.
Yeah, I think that's probably where it is at this point.
Agatha hype.
Yeah, of course. 2C for T-Pat. This is a very safe fight. see. It's a very scary fight one scene. Oh yeah, fully expected to see this. And, yeah. Using again the kind of the mantra for this fight is use a bird or a fish. D-Pat has opted for a three-headed, non-flying bird. The idea here is Arbok faints, and then you're going to see Weezing get faded out. So you can set up X speed here on Weezing. You don't have a situation where where a Gengar or Golbat comes out and you get X-sped or outsped. So easily taking care of the Weezing, and from here it's heal everything up. Use your Max Elixir. I tend to use the Max Elixir in fight. I'll even save a little bit of time here by scalding these Gengars, so I don't get turnarounds. So yeah, solid fight. D-Pat just does just that with the Scald on the Gengar. So nicely done there. So we've got one. Each runner has a unique Elite Four member on his screen. We've got Agatha getting wrapped up for T-Pat. We've got Crisis working his way through Bruno, which should be pretty easy from here. Let's see this Jinx. So Kerbis goes for the Hydro Pump on Jinx and gets it. I didn't see if he set up to +6. I presume, again, this is just full send at this point. You're just going +4, trying to hit ranges. So, assuming that was the case, that's a nice hit.
And Crisis 144 special attacks. So.
Oh yeah, Crisis is good for
pretty freaking good. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually there's only one minor differential
for Crisis
between versions left. Because
135 for Kerbis.
Yeah, that's a little bit more.
So
like
Kerbis is going to have a slight range on Dragonite, but it'll be good.
Yeah,
it'll
favorable.
Probably be 14 out of 16. Is the prediction. Maybe if he gets an AB, 15 out of 16, but not 100%. So cross our fingers for that one.
And then there's just one differential left between the two versions. The champion fight has Jolteon instead of Raichu. So generally speaking, at non-optimal special attack, they are set up to +6 to get that Jolteon out of the way. I fully expect Crisis to do that. Kerbis, again, this is just full send mode. I could easily foresee a situation where it's just like, okay, we're gonna go for this +4 and see what happens, trying to save any turns he can, because there's at this point there's just nothing.
Got to do it. Yep. Why not?
Yeah. And again, Crisis as expected. We're seeing the 2C on Agatha. Again, very safe fight with the 2C. We're about to see a much less safe fight from Kerbis once he gets through Bruno and heads to Agatha. Again, just trying to get any precious seconds he can back. It might not be enough. I've been saying it since
Did he run out of psychic? He must have ran out of psychics, right? Because of the extra
Or he's
training.
trying to conserve psychics.
Well, you used the 3 on what's her name, Alexa. So I think that's it.
Okay, so this is interesting. So yeah, he's down to 3. That is not enough for Agatha. So assuming he doesn't elixir here, which usually okay, so he's gonna ether here, bring that back to 10. So he'll go ahead and not hydro pump anything on Agatha. Oh, I do want to follow up. Remember I said that Crisis could use the PP up on Starmie? Somewhere along the line he did, and I missed it because he's got 12 psychics available to him.
Awesome.
So kudos to, it just gives that little extra, like, let's say something bad happens and, you get those extra protects on Koga, or let's say he had hit Alexa instead of Kerbis. And turn 1 Power of Love Kerbis! Here we go!
Huge.
Did have the full restore, but not needed. Okay, so he's gonna X speed here.
No paralysis.
Okay, he's gonna get through this fight. Hopefully from here.
Not to downplay
Nice.
Kerbis and Crisis, but T-Pat is rounding out with the last fight of, the last enemy of the game. So,
Did
should be
Crisis not
fine.
set up to the correct number of special attacks? Because that should have KO'd otherwise. That Seadra.
Yeah.
Okay, Aerodactyl. He's at +4 now. But hopefully he X.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm trying to understand what happened here. Okay, so he just must have used X speed because he outsped the Aerodactyl.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, T-Pat is home free from here. Like his Lapras actually fainted, which is perfect. Like this is looking at a 301 for T-Pat. Great run there, really fast.
All around a really great run, especially with the minus attack EV. Like, very good for minus attack EV.
Yeah, and some vindication too. You and I both saw his round 2 run, where he just got extremely unlucky on champion.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you're happy for him. You get to see a little vindication for T-Pat there. And he's going to be comfortably into the next round with 6 points.
He'll have a shot at clearly qualifying for semis if he does well next round too. So good for him.
On
Very
a personal
good.
note, as somebody who is himself sitting with 6 points, now seeing T-Pat, now seeing Randall, now seeing Etchy, all sitting on 6 points.
Can't wait for you to beat them.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, the 6 point group is very, very scary. It's going to be the same situation as these runners faced. It's going to be you get your 3 points, you're through. You get 0 points, you're out. You get 1 or 2 points, it depends. So yeah, Pat will be in that conversation yet again next round. Crisis is starting his champion fight now. Kerbis looks like he's good to go. For Lance, with the potential exception that we talked about earlier, which is Lance is going to be a slight range.
Yeah, but with Tusing here for Crisis, should be fine.
Should be fine. I think the clock is about to hit midnight for Kerbis. I think there's just a little bit too much to have to make up. He's going to have to menu between fights to get up. By the way, T-Pat 301.19.
Great run.
Holy smokes. Great
very
run
good.
from T-Pat.
Yeah, with the kind of weird catch route too. So.
That's the range.
Oh my god. It ain't over yet.
Ice Shard to KO the Pidgeot, but he gets a switch. What do? You gotta just revive. You gotta revive the star.
I mean, I think you just try to full reset here somehow, right?
And I don't see if he saved. If he did not save, okay, so he's trying to get some. Okay, so This could end up fine.
Whoa.
This could end up fine. Because, okay, he's just got an X speed here.
He already speeded,
Special attack.
so yeah.
Okay, he already. Okay.
Okay.
So he's got +4 right now.
Oh my gosh, this is
Jolteon
closer.
Is range. Jolteon is a range. Cannot set up on Jolteon because Jolteon can thunder and just take this thing out.
Hydro Pump.
Hydro Pump
Hits,
incoming.
misses.
He doesn't get it. Beautiful. That thunder had hit. Crisis would have had to reset.
Gosh. Wait, what?
Crisis is only at +2. Okay, he's taking a gamble here. Can he scald it?
Oh my god, Kermis, no! He got crit!
Kermis!
No! No! What are these rival rights? What? What? Are you kidding me?
Oh, okay,
What
let's see if Kermis
the
can get through. I think
hell?
he's still sitting on +2. He just has to get through. He's just
Kermis
gotta
should
get
just keep
through.
going and restart. Like, Kermis should go. Like, I guess you aren't going to meet the medium time, but like...
Yeah, Kermis, assuming Crisis gets through, Kermis will not have anything to play for here.
But if Crisis
Will this KO the
doesn't...
Slowbro? No, it does not. Use his
Yeah.
life speed, that's fine. He's through.
Kermis should just
Okay.
go
He's
back
got a
and
KO
keep
with
going.
the Thunderbolt. Oh no, it's light screened. Okay, but the Psychic doesn't KO.
Oh my
Full
god!
restore. He's just gotta keep Thunderbolting. And
Okay.
he's got it. He's got it. Patches together a rival.
Holy
rival
crap.
6 fight.
I cannot believe what we just
Wow.
saw.
Wow. And gets a 306 at that. That might not be his PB. I do not know what his PB is down to the second. But what an unbelievable run from Crisis to also 306. You know, he went toe-to-toe with a former world record holder. He went toe-to-toe with a member of the sub 3 club, and he's still alive. So what an unbelievable run from
I just...
and
Jesus.
a heart-stopping.
Why are
set of
the ends of the
champion
runs we commentate always like this? Like, T-Pat's bad luck the other round, and then these insane, like, endings for this one. Like, sorry for whoever I commentate next round.
And that is time for Crisis. GG's.
Wow.
Hopefully we'll have some post-race commentary from these runners. But oh my goodness. And we presume, of course, Kermis will just go ahead and take the DNF here.
That was an insane... I haven't seen anything like that in a while.
Oh
my gosh.
Okay, I'm seeing the T-Pat has joined us. T-Pat, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Wow, like, first of all, like, I was screaming at my TV watching Crisis finish up the most bizarre champion fight I think I've ever seen. That was that was unreal. So obviously a big GG to him. Like, even just surviving that, like, that felt like the theme of this whole day was just kind of like survive in advance, and it like literally came down to the champion fight for him. So that was thoroughly enjoyable to view. But of course, it was a thoroughly enjoyable run myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, T-Pat, you did a little bit more than just survive today. You threw down a 3:01:19, and
It sure feels like I keep bouncing back and forth between one amazing run and then one mediocre run. We'll put it all together at some point.
How does it feel? Like round 2, obviously, Yazarian and I we're kind of crossing our fingers and toes here because we saw what happened for you. How does this feel after, round 2 didn't quite go up to par, and then to throw a run of this caliber down?
Redemption, like quite simply, that felt like redemption. Just the way I was able to handle that, and just make sure to kind of prove to myself, like, yeah, I can still, get these crazy good times. And I'll admit, I went into today just telling myself I'm going to be completely safe. Like, from the word go, I want to be completely safe, knowing that I just wanted to collect at least 2 points and give myself, at minimum, a win and in situation. So that's why you saw me do things like save the fossil, like, for the end. And I even reset Route 6 because I saw a bunch of rats, and I was like, nah, like, I'll just play just a little safer than I normally would. And I also focused a bit more on myself. In the last round 2 race, I had kind of admitted that when Etiquette and I were neck and neck, I probably watched his run more than my own. But this time it was the other way around. It was, I'm just going to focus on my own screen. I had chat up, but I didn't have the visuals up. I didn't want to know where anybody else was. So I didn't even look until after Rock Tunnel. I'll just do my own thing. I'll just make sure I have a solid run and do my own thing. I peaked, and I honestly was so shocked how close it was between all 3 of us at that moment. Because I was just like, whoa, Crisis is like tied with me right now.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and on the subject of Crisis, I see Crisis has joined us. Crisis, you said before our match started today, you said, I feel good about where I am. I'm going to PB today. How does this run feel?
To start, it is a PB.
Nice.
That's what I thought.
By 9.3 seconds.
Very nice.
So I don't have to waste my internet speed uploading the other one.
Yeah.
But just to say how much this stings, Lance was minus 152. This was then went down to minus 9.3.
Talk to us about that champion. What happened on that champion fight?
I looked at the notes, and I saw that because my special attack was at 146, it said you could do Thunderbolt plus Ice Shard. And I misclicked, and I didn't click Ice Shard. I clicked Mist instead.
Okay.
Which probably would have been a bit faster. I don't know. Someone can correct me, but that was essentially the strat that I was wanting to go for. But I misclicked Ice Shard. And I clicked Mist instead, and I was like, fudge.
Painful, but easy time save next time around, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But, yeah.
Minute plus a time save for champion next time, so...
But now I have to go against this stupid run where it's like I'm minus 152 by Lance. This was like low 304. This is low 304 pace up until that moment. And I'm like, I had to throw it away.
Well, you didn't totally throw it away.
No, I salvaged it at
9.3 seconds.
Very end, and this is like the worst finale that any Let's Go run probably has, aside from dying. But dying means that you just didn't finish the run. So,
I mean, if everything's updated, then I believe you're faster than median time, which does get you the 2 points. So, still good news there.
It's huge.
I was literally being like, I want a sub 305, and then I can put this game. Then I'm like happy with my time, and I never want to grind ever again. And the fact that I was there and I threw it away hurts me more than finishing this run. It's like 2 points, great. That's a nice consolation prize. I'm still like not happy about this because it essentially means I am I know for a fact that I am 304 caliber. That is something that I know for a fact. But absolutely. I'm now. But it's always just one dumb thing that just changes everything.
That's a
And
sign of a good
Purpose-
competitor because I mean, how many people get second place and they say, "Man, could have got a win," you like could have got better, and that goes with like
No,
not just
win I
speedrunning,
could
but
never
like
get.
any
I'm being
sport.
easy.
So
Like,
obviously you're there. Like you like when I think when the dust settles, Crisis, like you'll be super proud of how this run looked for you, and you'll have the knowledge that you know you can get on these paces.
Yeah, and Crisis, for what it's worth, you were right there with T-Pat. You could see T-Pat's time. I mean, at times
Yeah.
I think, I mean, correct me if I'm way off course here. At times you were right there, if not ahead of T-Pat.
I know.
So-
I was watching the entire. Unlike T-Pat, who was like concentrating their own thing. I was gluing on my eyes to the other people's screens. Like, if Kerbis was ahead of me, I would have full send 1P because I knew Vistami was good enough. But I decided let's play it safe. Let's not do anything stupid. Let's do the high special attack stuff, but just don't do anything stupid. And what did I do? I clicked miss instead of ice shot. Therefore, I did something dumb at the very end of the speedrun, which basically means I have to compare to something honestly amazing. Which is...
Well, we wish you luck with that. I also want to bring Kerbis in. Kerbis, GG's. I know the ending didn't quite go according to plan. Just talk to us about that run, because you were right there too. Like it
Yeah,
really put up a show for us today.
I have no regrets about the way I played anything. It was just another unlucky ending. But firstly, Crisis, I would say you're way better than 304 capable, considering you were basically right there with me and T-Pat at the end of Rock Tunnel. And to me, that is like the sign of a good runner. Like if you can have good paces exiting out of Rock Tunnel, you just have to clean up a little bit in the end game. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you're 301 capable at minimum.
It's more of the fact that I don't care about grinding to 301.
Yeah, I get that for sure. But the fact that you're
just-
301 capable, I think you'll get the time you're looking for very soon.
Like, yeah, I just want, like, if I'm say I can be like, because I want to be good at more than just one game. I always say that I want to be within a certain time of world record, just to say that I'm not that bad. And like 305 is kind of like the thing where it's like I am happy. I don't care anymore. Like, I can get PBs if I ever want to, but to me, it's like I can then be like, I can leave this game on a more, like, I wouldn't say happy note, but more of a proud note that the fact that I could do this. But yeah, it's still, I understand that I'm a bit harsh on myself. Like 306 losing 2 minutes to Lance. Other people would dream to get themselves a 306, but it's like I know I can just do better. It's like I put harsh restrictions on myself because apparently I just have a natural skill of learning games. Just doing the right thing till the very end is always the part that I struggle the most.
Yeah, I have no doubt you'll get where you're looking to be though, very soon. But as far as my run, like we were basically tied in Gio's gym, and I was like, I'm not, even though I was slightly ahead, I was like, I'm not going to lose this race because I played scared. If I get unlucky, I'm okay with that. But if I play a fight safe and somebody passes me because of it, I would be very upset with myself. So I don't regret doing the 1C Naomi. I just missed a pretty good pump range. I think I was like 13 out of 16 or something to KO there.
It was good. It
That
was
was
a good range.
brutal,
And then
yeah.
you got sucker punched. Which you don't see
Yeah,
every
that
time.
was a misplay. Honestly, I should have healed that turn. I kind of forgot Sucker Punch was an option there, but at the same time, she doesn't always go for it. But yeah, that was a little bit of a misplay, but I still would have wound up being behind, and then hitting the extra trainer was, shout out to the heat wave, just literally my sweaty fingers slipping off. Like, it's so easy to slip and repress a button on the Joy-Cons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
that's what
it
we
just
thought.
so happened to happen to me like right as I was rounding the corner. So a little
Yeah, because
unfortunate.
we didn't see the exclamation point. We
Yeah.
just saw. Yeah, so that was my immediate conclusion was this wasn't her seeing you. It was oops,
Yeah.
I hit the A button.
Yeah, no, I cleared her vision for sure. I just hit the A button after. And I have my stick clicks completely disabled, so that's never gonna happen to me. But you know, even at that point though, like after the Naomi death, like I probably was gonna lose anyways. But that pretty much cemented it. But so you know, I just sent 1C for the rest of the run and see what best time I could pull out, and just got crit on the last turn possible. So
was gonna say
well.
it went pretty well up until
Actually,
Pidgeot there.
considering Crisis's mishap on Champion, I might have actually pulled out second if I didn't get crit. I'm not too sure. That would have been very close. Because I had the full 1C fight set up from that point on. So it would have just been 6 turns and down.
Yeah. It was a, let me tell you this, it was a fun race to watch. First 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 2 hours, and we'll call it 55 minutes because of how fast you guys were going, of how skilled you guys were. And it was a fun last 10 minutes because, oh man, that champion fight. So you gave us the show we'll remember. So I know we're still, just to give everybody an update who is watching us at the moment. The nerds, who am I kidding? We
nerds.
play Pokemon.
Yeah.
The super nerds. Shout out to.
Oh, come on, let's be nice. The mathematicians.
Who are putting together the round 4 pairings. It's going to take a couple more minutes than usual, just because they're playing out the scenarios, who could potentially advance to the semis, so on, so forth. Getting the pairings right so that nobody's having rematches of their previous rounds match. So it's going to take a couple of minutes. But with that time, guys, just your thoughts on where you guys are, where you sit, where you're looking for the rest of the tournament. Just any other thoughts you've got. Any thoughts on whether a s'mores, or not a s'mores, what was it today? A crepe is a sandwich? That was
S'more is definitely a sandwich.
Okay, hold on. I saw something in the chat, and I didn't hear the commentary on it, but somebody said that like it was gross to put syrup on pancakes, and I was like, what are you what? There were question marks, and I was like, excuse me? I usually put far too much syrup on my pancakes, and it's delicious. Like, syrup is the best part of the, like, what psychopath is eating their pancakes dry? Like, what? Anyways, that's what I saw.
I'm getting word that we're getting ready for draws. But
I'm glad that this was the last conversation we're going to have going into draws.
I mean, I'm not perfect. I don't care. It's 10 p.m. Yeah,
any last thoughts before we kick it over to Etiquette and Crew for draws?
Just a GG to Crisis and Kerbis. Thanks for keeping me honest in this race, because by the time I peeked over, I'm like, oh, this race is good. So thanks for keeping me on my toes. Thanks for the great race. Looking forward to surviving and advancing in round 4.
Yeah, I'm obviously out of the tournament, but I had a lot of fun kind of coming back to this game. Very low expectations for myself, and I think I outperformed them. My pace on all 3 of my races was pretty solid. This was a bloodbath. So many good runners in this tournament, so kind of how
every run has for some reason I've made like either one mistake or the game just said screw you. Today was champion by me misclicking. I know, understandable, my fault. Last race was Giovanni 2. Giovanni 3 Earthquake just killing me, and then I had first race Lance hyper beam crit. So I just need just one run where something nothing too catastrophically bad happens, and I hope that happens in the next round.
But a ton of good, not just from you, Crisis, but from all 3 of our runners today. All of you faced adversity. All of you found ways to get it done. And yeah, let's, without further ado, we'll take a quick break and hand it over to our draw team here. So stay tuned. We'll be back soon. I'm Poketax for Yazarian. Yeah, see you guys soon.